with their resignation letter.
Well,
and it turns out they worked at a school.
Yeah, well, so anyway, we stopped playing that game.
Yep.
We just further decimate the school system, just doing our job. But we do want to hear from you. You can let us know. Do you think we should keep our jobs? We, wanted to wrangle our boss in here. I don't know. I don't even know if he knows we work here.
I don't know if he works here anymore. I haven't seen him in 2 weeks. You think he just left?
I feel like the conversation we're having right now is very doji, They're like, "Oh, we don't even know what we do at our jobs. Who works here? Who's getting paid?"
It'll be doji if they let somebody go and then realize a couple of days later, "Oh, we actually need that person."
I know.
So let's call them back and see if they'll come back and work here.
So we will want to hear from you in the 11 o'clock hour. You can tell us whether or not we're going to keep our jobs. We're going to try to justify our jobs by telling you what we've accomplished in the past week.
If you're wondering what exactly we are talking about here, Elon Musk, who is in charge now of the Department of Government Efficiency, and he's been slashing left and right, though the savings we are apparently realizing are minimal, even though he's touting it as huge victories and cost savings. This is what happened over the weekend, and this is from the Associated Press. Hundreds of thousands of federal workers have been given little more than 48 hours to explain what they accomplished over the last week, sparking confusion across key agencies as billionaire Elon Musk expands his crusade to slash the size of the federal government. So what he's asking people, and this is directly from the email, consistent with President Donald Trump's instructions, all federal employees will shortly receive an email requesting to understand what they got done last week. And they're asking for about 5 bullet points. Tell us what you have accomplished. Tell us what you have done. Sounds great on the surface, right? Like, yeah, explain your job to me. This also feels like a consultant coming in that doesn't really know what the hell is going on in the company or the intricacies of a company or the environment, and then just firing people because it looks good on paper, even though in practice it's probably terrible. I mentioned this last week, Amy, when we were talking about this. Everybody works at a company where maybe they have downsized a little bit and they thought, well, we've been doing this with 5 people in this department. We can get by with 2. Everybody else will just share the workload. Looks great on paper, but the people who work in the office will tell you this is a disaster. It doesn't actually make things run more efficiently.
Well, because
everybody works in an office like that.
Yes. And here's the thing. Absolutely, we can strive for greater government efficiency. A lot of times you can look at certain programs, trim programs here or there that may seem unnecessary, frivolous. Maybe it was throwing a bone to some activist group that you're helping theater productions in a certain city in Guatemala, and you're like, okay, well, that seems a little random. Why are we doing that? You can look at that type of spending. But when you're looking at federal jobs, and these are people, federal workers are still American citizens and jobs, what you want to do is make sure that you're looking at the minutia of the day-to-day workforce, because it sounds great to use a hacksaw and just say, tell us your job is worthwhile or we'll cut you. But that's just not how jobs work. That's not how industries work. It is actually very tedious. It's very cumbersome because you have to get to know how a company runs. Because at the end of the day, we can look at our, right here, the newsroom, KMOX. Could you say, we're going to cut the newsroom down and put a ton more work on the existing reporters, and they make it work for a month, 2 months, 5 months, but you're burning them out because they're not robots, and they've been going above and beyond to do an extra workload because they're trying to be a team and keep things going. But then when you realize, well, wait a minute, does the company care about me?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to quit because I can't keep doing this. I thought we were going to get that help back again. Just because you can get it done with 4 people doesn't mean that it's sustainable. You might need 6 people. You might need 7 people because people are humans. They're not robots. Morale matters. Being able to live a life outside of work matters. And again, it's not that I don't think cuts need to be made. I'm sure they do. You can't do the hacksaw method. It's got to be tedious. Elon Musk needs to not be lazy and like go. And Trump needs to not be lazy and go, okay, let's go look at these departments. Let's see exactly what's being done with how many people.
There is no greater example of this than what happened last week, where they let go of a bunch of people who worked at the Department of Energy, whose job it was to oversee the stockpile of nuclear weapons we had. And then they realized after the fact, oh, we need these people, so let's try to hire them back.
Or
there's no greater example of it.
A good one.
It's like they're not thinking things through first.
A close one would be the people that they fired in the federal government who were working on the bird flu.
Yeah.
And they had to rehire them because they just fired you. This is all unnecessary. Another example would be, well, look at all of these people working at the parks, the national parks in January and February. That is far too many. We don't have enough visitors. Well, of course. Parks, certain industries are seasonal, heavily seasonal, and you're going to have more workers at certain times of the year than you do at other times of the year. And by the way, do you know who's picking up the trash? Do you know who's making sure you're cultivating the flora and fauna within those parks? There are so many detailed jobs that keep the machine running. And when you use a hacksaw and then wait for things to break and go, we probably shouldn't have cut that person.
And then once it's broken, it's a lot of times harder to fix.
That's what's so ironic. It's less efficient.
Think of it. Yes.
It's less efficient to have to go back.
Think of it this way. You want to maintain your vehicle. You want to constantly stay up on the oil changes and the filter changes and all the other little maintenance stuff. And instead of waiting for something to break and then going in to get it fixed, because it always costs more money to fix it than it does to keep it running smoothly in the first place. Always, 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 without fail. It's always better to make sure something continues to run efficiently and to know exactly what you're cutting. And that's the problem here, is it doesn't really appear that they know what they're doing, that they know what they are actually cutting. Again, Department of Energy, nuclear weapons. Remember that? They didn't know what they were doing then, and then they had to backtrack on it because they weren't thinking things through first.
Precision is difficult, and it's time-consuming, and it's cumbersome. And if you are impatient and lazy, you're not going to worry about being precise. And like I said, I am all for looking at the federal government and saying, okay, here, where are we not running this department efficiently? What are we doing with paying, these workers? Let's look at the seasonal. Let's look at the production, the output, the production. Yeah, I think we're not being efficient here, but that's hard to do.
Also, but
it takes a lot of time.
Here's the other thing, though. This is the other side of it. I am all for efficiency and cutting waste where it is necessary, but I want to see some savings on my end. I want to be able to have evidence that this money has been saved and that it doesn't go, for example, paying for a tax cut for somebody who's got billions of dollars. So if I see my taxes go down because we have cut waste where waste exists in the federal government, awesome. I better see the savings personally. It better not be a thing where later down the road, I only find out that people like Elon Musk, who have multiple companies, who has hundreds of billions of dollars, is the only one benefiting. That's what I want. But I have no confidence whatsoever that this is what this is about.
Yeah. And
that again, I don't think it's about me. I don't think it's about me or you or just about anybody listening to this show. I don't think it's about us. I think it's about them.
The federal employee compensation as well is just a very small percent of the budget, 3-4%. And so you, of course, are not going to fire all federal employees. So what percentage are you really cutting? Like, is the juice worth the squeeze here? Is this the most efficient way to save money? Can we look at other programs? And again, just taking a hacksaw to thing and then piecing them back together is also not a great move because it creates so much confusion that even the people that you do leave in place and the departments that you do keep operating pause because they don't know what's going on. It creates more inefficiency if if you come at it with a hacksaw. Surgical precision is hard. It's painstaking, tedious, boring. And those are not things that Donald Trump's a huge fan of. So he's just coming in with a hacksaw or a chainsaw, as Elon Musk had.
Well, Amy and I are going to create our bullet points for ourselves.
I am not
and for
feeling
the show.
good about
we
it.
have to, I know, the people are going to decide. We're going to do it Elon style. We're going to let the people decide if we get to stay or not.
Can I quote the mayor and say...
But then if they tell us we don't get to stay, we're going to go back on our word anyway and stay.
I'm gonna quote the mayor and say, listen, my job is harder than you realize.
That's right. Where would you be without us? Amy Marks Kors and Chris Ranji on KMOX.
From fast breaks to buzzer beaters to block parties, there's nothing as exciting as basketball. And with football over, with Underdog, you can bring that basketball excitement to wherever you watch. Playing on their app is as easy as choosing higher or lower on player stats, like threes made, points, rebounds, and much more. Get those selections right, and you could win up to 1,000 times your money. This is Tom Ackerman. Millions of fans have won over billions on Underdog. Will you be next? Join in on the fun by signing up for Underdog today using promo code TOM, and you'll get a free selection as part of your first cash entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. That's the Underdog app and promo code TOM. Must be 18 plus and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Join Mark Patrick Seminars. Lose the weight and stop smoking. Early bird specials, $49.99. Seminar Sunday, March 16th, Aviator Hotel and Suites, South I-55, St. Louis. Weight loss, 11 a.m. Stop smoking seminar, 2 p.m. Or Monday, March 17th, 4 Point Sheraton, St. Louis. Fairview Heights, Fairview Heights. Weight loss, 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar, 8 p.m.
Now, 90 and 60. A look back at the latest St. Louis City SC match. Presented by Woods Basement Systems, Inc.
Cello, right foot, outswinger, Klaus header, down and pounced upon by Stefan. Good ball, hit Watts, feeds Betcher, gets ahead, but it does dart away from frame over the goal. Long throw, when it clutches back, hit it, Betcher gets stoned on the doorstep, hit a one-time volley. Cello now tied in the middle, back flip by Klaus, but it's right at Stefan. Year 3, game 1, ends in a tie.
Up next, City SC faces San Diego FC Saturday night. Pre-game at 9, kick at 9:30 on Y98.
Tripping over uneven concrete? Don't replace it, raise it with concrete leveling. Call the all things basementy experts, Wood Basement Systems, for a free estimate at 618-249-5503. Or learn more at woodsbasementsystems.com.
After almost 30 years, Lacefield Music is closing their location at South County Mall forever, and everything must go. Hi, this is Kathy from Lacefield Music, and lack of mall traffic has forced Lacefield Music to make this very difficult decision. But what an incredible opportunity for anyone who is searching for a piano. Save big on Yamaha pianos, keyboards, Lowry organs, and all the top brands of pianos. Also, up to 80% off sheet music and accessories during our South County Mall closing sale. All the pianos are at rock bottom prices. Many pianos are one of a kind, but once they're gone, they're gone. Oh, and don't worry, our Chesterfield location is here to stay and will remain open to serve all of your musical needs. Rush in today before the South County store closes for good and take advantage of massive discounts. South County, we thank you for all the years of support and great memories. Remember, Chesterfield will remain open for all of your piano and musical needs.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this important announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free. with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit. 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121.
Breaking news, entertaining conversation, and live sports. This is KMOX.
On the show today, we are, Amy, going to talk to Stefan Denev, who will be joining us after 10:30 from the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra, the music director there. Matt Pauley will talk over the Cardinals in the midst of Grapefruit League baseball, which started over the weekend. We'll have Chris Cillizza with us on the show. We got a lot happening today, and we are glad you're with us.
There was a story in the Student Life newspaper, which is the WashU student newspaper, and it caught Charlie Brennan's attention. It caught my attention. We've been talking a lot about smartphones and Gen Z and how I think we have unleashed this horrific, addicting drug on Gen Z, like giving them cocaine or heroin since the time they were toddlers, and then saying, why can't you get yourself out of this addiction? Why can't you just stop heroin or cocaine? That's what we've done. The addiction to smartphone is not kids these days. It's our fault as adults unleashing this technology on a generation that is now in the workforce, will be 30% of the workforce by 2030, minimum 30% of the workforce by 2030. And employers are already seeing what they call a lack of resilience, a lack of attention, a lack of focus. And the thing is, a lot of Gen Z kids know this. They know they struggle in these areas. They're like, yeah, my phone, I'm addicted to my phone. Jonathan Haidt, who wrote the book, The Anxious Generation, he calls it anti-fragility training, where bosses might need to sit Gen Z kids, workers down and say, all right, did you know that sometimes when you face an obstacle or hardship, it can actually make you stronger? And challenges are good because they've lived in this world where they're addicted to screens, where their entire life experience has been curated to their preferences day in, day out, music, movie, TVs, algorithms on social media feeds. And I say all this because, again, Gen Z knows it's an issue. In the Student Life magazine, there are some WashU students who are getting rid of their smartphones and returning to flip phones because they were dismayed by their lack of ability to focus in class. Like, think of have you ever sat down, watched a movie or TV, but you're on your phone while you're watching TV?
I do it all the time.
Yes.
Do you know, sometimes I will be, for example, on Twitter on my laptop, and I will pick up my phone and open Twitter.
Yes.
I do that all the time.
It's so mindless. So a couple of these students at WashU who were interviewed in the magazine, so much self-awareness. One of the students said that she was disappointed with herself when it came to productivity. She said, I had so many hours in a day. And one of the things that she noticed is that she couldn't remember what she did for those hours. And that is so true.
Yeah.
I mean, I have that where I'm like, what did I do?
I can spend an hour and a half looking at Instagram stories, and I realize, oh my God, what have I just done?
So
I do it all the time.
So a couple of these students, they got these flip phones. He said he bought one at Best Buy. He said half the time it doesn't even buzz when it's supposed to. And most of his friends don't have his phone number because everyone, as I mentioned, when we talked to the high school students at Parkway, they talk through socials, Snapchat, Instagram. They don't have each other's numbers. So he said half of his friends don't even know how to contact him now. But he said he has become so much more present. He said he listened to the radio for the first time. He said he got to know his roommates because you think, well, how do you not know your roommates? Because you get home, you get back, you sit, you're on your phone. Everyone just kind of does it. It pulls you out of reality. He said he's been able to focus more in schoolwork, and he's found interest in other things that he wasn't previously curious about. And that was something that Jonathan Haidt had also pointed out. He called it the greatest loss of human capital that we've ever had, because we have this incredible generation and we are breaking their brains with these phones that are an equivalent of a drug.
This is a thing that we have discussed before, in how every single generation, there is something about the previous generation that we are worried about. You know, that books were a problem in the past and computers were a problem and music was a problem. And this new generation doesn't quite get it. And it's always been fine. The outcome in the end has always been okay. Each generation is doing just fine. This is one of those, though, that I'm not so sure that there won't be longer term negative effects. I don't believe this time around, and I could be wrong. We could find out 10, 15 years from now I just was overreacting, that everything was okay, that this generation figured it out despite the fact they are on their smartphones all the time. But this does feel a little different. It feels like a breaking point of some kind, because I don't know how you get out of it, because it's not like smartphones are going to go away. They're going to continue to be here, and they might even continue to be more invasive as time goes on. So I don't have the same level of confidence that the generation will adjust to it and will end up being as productive as previous generations were. Maybe they will. Maybe this is all just, this us completely overreacting to the moment, but it kind of doesn't feel that way.
Yeah, and I think the best way is, like we said, we have to do it as a community. We have to pull smartphones out of grade school and high schools. Kids don't need to be on their smartphones while they are in school, face to face with peers and with teachers. Why would you ever remove them? Create an isolationist environment within the schoolroom, within the classroom. And I think if we can stigmatize being on your phone all the time, like as a society, where it's looked down on to have your phone in school, it's looked down on to have your phone in high school, and it's looked down on to rely on your phone for everything. You have to shift the culture. Not quite the war on drugs, like just say no to drugs, but if we can get a just say no to smartphones, except for certain necessary things, like say you want to use Google Maps, fine. But if we can kind of stigmatize being on your phone all the time, I think that's good for society.
Powell Hall has been renovated, and the 146th season of the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra is happening. Stefan Denev, who is the music director of the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra, joins us next on KMOX.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Being first in line can be very important to homeowners. First in line for the plumber, first in line for the HVAC guy, first in line for Banner Construction. It's Banner Construction's winter home event, and you can be first in line this spring and save before the annual price increases. Banner Construction is a James Hardy and Pella window replacement specialist, and now is the best time to schedule a free in-home consultation with no obligation. Call 314-569-1050 or see them online and have a banner day.
Since 1991, St. Louis has served as the gateway to the best men's basketball tournament, Arch Madness. Experience buzzer beaters, madness, and Missouri Valley Conference glory. And it begins here. The 2025 State Farm MVC Men's Basketball Tournament, presented by Credit Union One and Great Southern Bank, tips off March 6th through the 9th. Celebrate 35 years of Arch Madness. Get your tickets now at archmadness.com.
It's Tom Ackerman for Ophthalmology Associates, the doctor's doctors, 314-966-5000 or online at youridoc.com.
Discover true luxury at Missouri's first and only standalone Genesis dealership, Genesis of St. Charles. Thank you for making us the #1 Genesis dealer in Missouri for 2024. True luxury isn't just built, it's engineered with precision and passion. Explore amazing cutting-edge technology, redefined elegance, and exhilarating performance in the new 25 GV80. A new level of luxury awaits you at Genesis of St. Charles. Visit us in-store or shop genesisofstcharles.com. Based on GMA sales records.
Hi, it's Jeff Sachs. The swings of the market should not affect your retirement plan. Your income in retirement should be independent of the market swings. If you're up all night worrying about it, we need to review your plan, and today is a great day to do it. Let's simplify your retirement at retiresafestl.com.
Hey, this is Brad Evans from BetMGM Tonight, weekdays 7-11 Eastern. The BetMGM Network is your home for expert sports betting insights, real-time odds, and nonstop action.
And the best time to tune in is right now. The madness of college basketball is heating up. The NBA playoff race is is tightening, and MLB opening day is just around the corner.
We've got expert picks, in-depth analysis, and everything you need to stay ahead of the game.
Presented by the sportsbook born in Vegas, BetMGM.
Watch on YouTube, listen on the free Odyssey app. This is a BetMGM network.
Hair Volume is the best-selling hair tablet in the world and one of many award-winning natural hair products from New Nordic. Purchase at newnordicusa.com or CVS. That's newnordicusa.com.
A happy place comes in many colors. One that leaves you feeling refreshed. Something that gets you all fired up. Or gives you the space to chill. Whatever your color, bring happiness home with CertaPro Painters and make your happy place your home. CertaPro Painters, that's painting happy. Get started today at CertaPro.com. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Clouds and 53 downtown at the Arch. President Trump and French President Emmanuel Macron started their day by taking part in a virtual meeting with fellow leaders of the Group of 7 economies to discuss Russia's war in Ukraine. And traffic, we've got a stalled vehicle 44 west at Elm in the right lane and a stall 44 270 going north at Manchester Road. That's got the left 2 lanes closed. 53 feels like 44 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Hey, it's Matt Pauley. I'm in Jupiter, Florida, covering Cardinals spring training as the Redbirds get ready for a new season. Here are my reports mornings and afternoons, as well as evenings on a Graybar Sports Open Line.
Get everything you need to know about what's happening at Redbirds Camp with the Cardinals Spring Training Reports. Sponsored by St. Louis Composting, Wilkie Window and Door, and Norm's Bargain Barn. On your home of the St. Louis Cardinals, KMOX.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. It's no wonder that ZipRecruiter is the place for skilled skydiving instructors, accomplished airbrush artists, and proficient pediatricians. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter to hire, you're missing out. ZipRecruiter is the place that's so confident it can make your hiring easier that it lets you try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. So if you want the right candidates for all your roles, ZipRecruiter is the place to go. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
From the Arch to the airwaves, KMOX is St. Louis.
This season, we welcome you to a new chapter. Powell Hall has a new brilliance, but the magic has always been here. Be amazed, be moved, be here. Welcome home.
All right. Can I just say that every time I go to the symphony, I ask myself, why do I not do this more often? It's so much fun. And I really do think you are amazed. I'm in awe. I'm brought to tears so often by the music and the beauty that we have here, right here in St. Louis. And so I am very excited to...
Well, hold on. You cry in the office all the time. Is it because of the beauty that's in the office along with you?
Some could call it that.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. The
right.
beauty, the life experiences. Sure. Well, I'm really excited to welcome in now Stefan Deneve. He is the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra music director as the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra welcomes in its 146th season. And we are celebrating the opening of the expanded and renovated home of the orchestra, Powell Hall at the Jack C. Taylor Music Center. Stefan, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, and I'm always happy to make you cry with great music.
It is kind of amazing, isn't it? It's a language. It's as effective, if not more effective, as words in poetry in a language that you speak, but yet it's universal.
I tell you something, we will actually do Home Alone next year. And Steven Spielberg said something very beautiful. He said, I can bring an audience to the brink of crying, but the music of John Williams makes the tear fall. And I can extend that yes, indeed music has an incredible power to communicate very strong emotion that can be soothing, that can be comforting, that can give you joy, uplift you. And we have music for everybody next season at our new Powell renovated hall. It's just so fantastic to be back there.
It's exciting to have Powell Hall renovated and ready to go. And we'll talk to you about it in a second. But, talking about the performance of music, how often do you get emotional during a performance?
It's an excellent question. I have to be very careful because there are some pieces that definitely make me want to cry, but I need still to steer the ship, to just be in charge. So it's very hard. It did happen a few times that I had tears conducting Mahler, the Second Symphony, for instance, at the end. It's so overwhelming. I could not help but crying. Also, actually, when we did recently, E.T. in concert at the start of this current season, at the end, same thing. Really, the music was too strong. But usually, I try to behave. Sometimes the orchestra see my chin slightly vibrating and my lips being a little bit weak, but I try to just avoid crying too openly.
It just means you're putting everything into it, and I think people love that.
Oh, definitely. Oh, it's incredible, actually. I am in the zone when I conduct. I lose sense of time, and it's an energy, just amazing effect, because I feel the energy of the audience behind me, being moved, breathing the music, and I, of course, feel the energy of our great musicians. We have one of the top orchestra in the world in St. Louis, and we should be so proud of that. And being back in Powell will, again, reveal what an incredible warm sound the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra is producing.
You mentioned a couple of movies, including E.T. and just the stirring music. I actually just recently watched the documentary on John Williams and him working with Steven Spielberg and the emotion behind John Williams' music. For instance, we all know the pieces from Schindler's List and how he was able to convey horror and tragedy. And I guess when you're playing a piece like that, is that also something that you would have to, like you said, kind of separate yourself from, let the audience feel the emotions, but you still have to steer the ship?
Well, I cannot separate myself, but I can just try, of course, to be dignified, in my appearance. But yes, Schindler's List is another one that really does bring tears to your eyes. But the whole season that we have next year is full of extremely big masterworks. We'll have big symphonies, like the Second Symphony of Rachmaninoff, another one that is very emotional. We do, for instance, the full Daphnis and Chloe of Ravel, which is just an enchantment. We will start with A Life of a Hero by Strauss. And of course, we have our choruses. We speak about the orchestra, but I love the fact that we have a huge family with the St. Louis Symphony Chorus and In Unison Chorus. And it's great because In Unison will be with us as well on the subscription program the last week of the season for the world premiere of a piece by Nathalie Joachim called Family, written for us. So I think the title means a lot, and it's so appropriate in this situation. So we will have indeed a whole family of the SLSO reunited to celebrate our new hall.
Stéphane Deneve, St. Louis Symphony Orchestra music director, is with us. And by the way, for any of these performances, tickets are on sale at slso.org. So tell us about the new Powell Hall. And again, we mentioned the more than $140 million worth of expansion and the transformation there. How's it look?
It's amazing, actually, because we, of course, preserve what we love about it, which is the extraordinary acoustics that are there, very warm and inviting sound. But we will welcome the audience in a much better way. We have new seats with more legroom. We have big new gathering areas. We have a full new entrance on the side. We kept the kind of Versailles, the kind of French elegance, old foyer, but we have a new entrance with a great big stairs. You will see that spiral stairs that are beautiful. And we have a new ELC, Education Learning Center, which will be able to welcome a lot of events dedicated to education. We have a much more improved backstage facilities for the musicians, some lounges. So it will feel different, and it will feel new as well, even if actually the hall itself, the gem, the jewel that we have of the hall inside will sound familiar. We kept the red velvet, and we repainted, by the way, which is incredible. You will see it will be less old yellowish, smoky color. It will be actually really bright and white. We have new lighting. So it's extremely exciting to have the best of the past and the best of the future just reunited for our new Powell Hall. And we named it actually the Jack Taylor Music Center because it becomes a real center for music, welcoming everybody.
How much does the renovation to the venue impact the orchestra itself as you look around you and see where you are playing?
Well, I think it will just be an excitement. I'm very, very touched because we have a loyal audience, and now these 2 past seasons, we've been out of Powell Hall, obviously, and we mainly have been performing at the Two Hill performing and the venue and also the Stephen Theatre. And those 2 venues actually, I must say, have seen a lot of audiences following us and even new audiences coming to visit us. So we feel that despite not being in Powell Hall, we have maintained our relationship with old and new audiences, which is really extraordinary. But now it really feels like coming home. And I was the director, when of course Powell Hall was still open, and then COVID happened. So in the middle of my first season, I'm afraid we had to close, and then we were out for the renovation. So for me, I cannot tell you how much I'm eager to be back and to record again also music in these fabulous acoustics.
Music director from the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra, Stéphane Denève, is with us on KMOX. You have seen theaters and venues from around the world. How would you say this one here in St. Louis compares?
Oh, it's very famous. That it's one of the top. Definitely in the U.S., we know that we are in par with Carnegie, with the Boston Symphony Hall, for instance. And it's every soloist, I can tell you, that comes to the hall always says like, oh my God, this is so special. So it's always an honor for me to invite the world-class soloists, for instance, because I know that they will be blown away by the acoustics. It's very special, and it's an asset because a hall is kind of the instrument of the orchestra. It's part of the sound style. And by the way, one of the best acoustics in the world is the famous Concertgebouw in Amsterdam. And when we did our huge European tour 2 years ago, it was just wonderful that when we went into the Concertgebouw, suddenly the orchestra said like, oh, actually, it sounds familiar. We kind of used to this rich, warm, woody sound. It sounded a bit like Powell. So I would say we have a kind of sister acoustics in the famous and revered Concertgebouw in Amsterdam. So just to tell you how lucky we are in St. Louis.
Is there anything in particular that you are especially looking forward to this season?
Oh, you asked me to choose between my children here.
Yes,
Yeah.
I know. I'm so sorry.
What I'm looking forward is the fact that 40% of what we will play is by living composers, and great living composers, including Kevin Poots. So we will have a composer in residence who is born in St. Louis but lives now in New York and has scored a triumph at the Met 2 years ago. And Kevin Poots is composing an amazing new piece for us and for our chorus called House of Tomorrow, which is very appropriate title based on the Prophet by Khalil Gibran. And so I'm very excited to start our season with a world premiere of that and some great fanfare, one being a brand new one by James III, and fanfare by Copland and by John Tower. So that's very exciting. Also, I love big choral works, and we have the War Requiems commemorating the 80 years anniversary of the end of World War II and of the Holocaust. And this is really a transformative piece. I think if you can join for the War Requiem of Britain, it's really something that just give you hope in the future, and is really speaking about fraternity, about love, about reconciliation, about peace. So that is a very special piece. But the whole season, I must say, is very exciting. We will do Mahler 5, the huge Mahler 5 symphony, a full Firebird, Beethoven 7, Tchaikovsky 4, Prokofiev 5. I mean, soloists are incredible. Jean-Yves Thibaudet will be there, my dear friend and best man, actually. And we have Emmanuel Ax coming. The list of soloists, Giorgi Donato, the famous singer, Hilary Hahn, Augustin Hadelich, Vikingo Olafsson. It's a star-studded season because we wanted to do something very special for the reopening of Powers.
Wonderful. Stéphane Denève, St. Louis Symphony Orchestra music director. Thank you so much for your time today. We look forward to visiting you at Powell Hall.
Yes, see you soon there.
Sounds great. Thank you so much. Stéphane Denève. Again, you can get tickets at slso.org.
It's going to be fun. Do you know what? I hate to say
Don't
this.
Don't even. Do not.
I don't think
Ranch.
Unless I may have gone when I was a child.
Oh my gosh.
I don't think I've been to Powell Hall. I've been to all the other ones. I don't think I've been to Powell Hall. I'm so sorry.
Unbelievable.
I'm going to go this year. This season, I will be there. I promise. I promise.
I will say
It's done.
Stéphane Denève brought up the chorus that they have.
But I want to be there when Stéphane's there.
Yes. I saw the Planets there years ago, and I forgot at the very end, they turned off all the lights in Powell Hall, and everything went silent. But the chorus was all spread out all over the hall, and they started singing, and it turned into a giant swell.
Did you cry?
Oh my gosh, I almost died. It was unbelievable.
Can't wait. I'm going to go this year. I swear. Amy Mark's core is Chris Ranji. Did you see this next?
Now Taxes is using Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get your refund so you can do more with it right in Credit Karma. Now this is taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. See guaranteed details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Could you make $500,000 in retirement savings feel like $1 million, or $1 million feel like $2 million? You could. The key is having a comprehensive financial plan for taxes, Social Security, inflation, healthcare, income, and more. Discover how you could make your money go a lot further in retirement in a 3-hour adult education class called Retirement Planning 101. Hey, it's Sue Thomas, and this is a one-night class taught by a fiduciary advisor from Financial and Tax Architects with decades of financial planning experience. And they hold these at colleges and libraries throughout St. Louis. There's no cost, but bring 3 canned goods for St. Louis Crisis Nursery. If you've saved $300,000 or more for retirement, register by calling 314-947-2012, 314-947-2012. That's 314-947-2012.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Farming's hard. To feed the world, farmers have to work the land, brave the elements, and fight the battle against weeds. Weeds reduce crop yields, so prices go up and everybody gets less to eat. But 50 years ago, farmers got a new tool to fight weeds, glyphosate. It kills weeds while protecting the harvest. Time and again, it has been approved by the EPA and by leading regulatory bodies around the world. It helps enable practices that reduce erosion and keep soil healthy, which is good for the earth. Farming's hard, but it's a little easier with glyphosate. Learn more at go.bayer.com/glyphosate. Paid for by Bayer.
Hey guys, Dave Glover here for Universal Windows Direct. Universal Windows Direct Love Your Windows sales event is happening now. Universal Windows Direct has a deal you can't resist. Buy 2 windows, get 2 for free, and there's no limit. Need 4 windows, you pay for 2. You need 20, you pay for 10. That's not all. Universal Windows Direct is offering no interest financing for 3 years. That's 36 months of easy payments with 0 interest. Call 314-334-2522 or visit universalwindowsdirect.com this February. That's universalwindowsdirect.com. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
St. Louis homeowners, it seems as if everyone who wanted to sell their home last year is finally starting to take action now. If you're ready to sell your home, I strongly recommend you call St. Louis's real estate expert, Gloria Liu, with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Why should Gloria be your first call? Well, ask the O'Neill family. Gloria sold their home for $30,000 over list price. Or the Krupp family. Gloria sold their home in one weekend for $25,000 over their asking price. Or maybe ask the Cox family, who received multiple offers and sold for $20,000 over list price, which, by the way, was the highest sales price for that subdivision ever. You get my point. Not every home sells for over list price, but one thing is for sure, Gloria Liu will get you the most money possible for your home, and she'll guarantee your agreed upon price. Call Gloria at 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or online at gloriahasthebuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
I'm Michael Calhoun. This is KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Now, did you see this? With Chris and Amy.
All right, so this one's not a lot of fun. It's actually pretty serious. It's about as serious as it gets. But a South Carolina death row inmate.
Oh, yes, I've seen this.
He's chosen to die by firing squad. It is an execution method that is still legal, generally viewed as inhumane. But Brad Sigmund is 67 years old. He is scheduled to be executed on March 7th. He committed horrific, disgusting crimes. So there's that. It's just, I didn't know firing squad was still an option. And not only that, they do have a picture in the story of the firing squad chair. So there's
a chair?
There's an electric chair in the execution room, and it's called a death chamber. There's a death chamber in Columbia, South Carolina, and there's the electric chair, and then there's a firing squad chair, which looks like if you were to draw a picture of like a school chair, right? Just like the 4 legs, the wooden back, but it's and then it straps you in. A lot of straps. And yes, he said he didn't want to choose electrocution because it would, quote, burn and cook him alive. And then he also did not want lethal injection because the 3 of the men,
mishaps.
Three of the men that South Carolina has executed since September remained alive for more than 20 minutes. And that's very, very painful. So at any rate, I didn't know we had this option. Not every state does, but it says in accordance with South Carolina's rules, 3 volunteer employees from the Department of Corrections are all armed with weapons loaded with live ammunition. And then, yes, the prisoner typically dies as a result of blood loss.
Wow. I didn't know they strapped you to the chair. I thought it was like a post.
Well,
they put your arms. That's the old way. Well, how else would you do it?
Well, you're sitting down.
Why would you want to sit down?
Well, I feel like sitting down is probably not your biggest concern in that moment.
Well,
I'm sitting. I was okay with this when I thought I was standing.
they should probably have you laying on your side, with your arm holding up your head like a pose.
Don't do that.
No.
This is real. So Idaho, Mississippi, Oklahoma, South Carolina, and Utah all have firing squad
It is
options.
a little, it's still nuts that's an option,
It
right?
also feels, even for the, this is gruesome, but the workers, it feels a little bit more unsanitary.
Uh-huh.
Right?
I guess. I don't know.
Well, yes, you do. I feel like it's a lot of cleanup.
That's probably a great deal of cleanup. Let's just hose it down. That's fine.
Okay.
Did you say so, Amy? You've heard the old rule that you are not supposed to wear the T-shirt of the band you're going to see.
Obviously.
Okay.
Oh no, Matt shook his head.
Yes. So
loser.
That has been an unwritten rule for several years now. Spin Magazine, which is a music magazine, they have re-examined this rule. And their determination is, you know what? It is, in fact, okay to wear the T-shirt of the band that you are going to see.
We're taking body positivity too far.
What?
You can't be T-shirt positive.
But I mean, think about it this way. Why is it okay to wear the Cardinals jersey or the Cardinals T-shirt to go to a game, but you can't wear a Metallica shirt to go see a show?
I think wearing a Metallica shirt to the Metallica show is like wearing a Cardinals uniform to see a Cardinals
full
game.
uniform?
Yes.
Because the band doesn't wear their own T-shirts. That's Amy Marks Kors. I'm Chris Ranji. Because it is now the thing to do, we are going to work very hard to keep our jobs, Amy and me. We have been given an email and we have 48 hours to respond. Why do we get to keep our jobs? We'll discuss it next on KMOX.
Cold weather is coming. Is your garage door ready? Cardinal Cowboy here. 30 years ago, when I woke up from a coma and was lying in the hospital bed, I felt stuck. I know you don't want the feeling of being stuck out in the cold because of a faulty garage door. Renner has you covered. Whether it's repairs or replacements or a new opener from brands like Delden, Amar, or LiftMaster, Renner will keep your door working like a charm. Check that one off your to-do list.
RENNER, RENNER.
When you haven't found love, it can feel like everyone else has. It's in every movie, every song, and all the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to find the one. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textline.us. Texting rules for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Consult a doctor prior to use.
Wow, you look amazing. What have you been doing?
I'm sure you've heard of Ozempic, Wegovy, and the other GLP-1 medications, right? Well, I found this great company called Zelfie. If you qualify, their providers can prescribe medications like Ozempic and Wegovy and other GLP-1 medications that are 80 to 90% less expensive, all 100% online.
I can get GLP-1 medications for 80 to 90% less and do it all online? No doctor's office or pharmacy?
Yes, Zelfie can provide semaglutide or tirzepatide, the active ingredients in Ozempic and other expensive GLP-1s, but for 80 to 90% less and shipped directly to your door.
How do I get started with Zelfie?
Just send them a text.
Text LINE to 200-300 to get started today with Zelfie. Get the same active ingredients in Wegovy or Ozempic, but for 80 to 90% less and 100% online. Don't wait. Text LINE to 200-300 right now for a link to your exclusive offer. Text LINE to 200-300. That's LINE to 200-300. LINE to 200-300.
KMOX, KEZK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The home of the Cardinals, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Hi, Stacy here with Fairwinds River's Edge Senior Living in St. Charles. We have a helpful seminar coming up Friday, March 7th that just might be the help you didn't even know you needed. Learn about the current housing market and tips on how to downsize and move from a home you may have been in for 20 years, or maybe it's been 50. Happy hour follows. Visit us online at fairwindsriversedge.com and let us know if you're able to join us. Thanks, and we hope to talk with you soon.
I'm Tom Ackerman with this month's Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight. This month we are focusing on National Cancer Prevention Month. And joining us is Dr. Graham Kolditz, Associate Director at Siteman Cancer Center.
More than half of cancer is preventable by literally changing the way we live, whether it's how we eat, drink, exercise, have vaccines, have screenings.
Special thanks to Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, go to siteman.wustl.edu.
At 11 o'clock, we've got clouds. It is 54 degrees downtown at the Arch. A lawsuit over Elon Musk's demand that federal workers detail what they did last week.
Federal workers are suing over Elon Musk's weekend threat to fire them if they don't explain their accomplishments. The suit is aimed at trying to block mass layoffs, including any related to the email sent by the federal government's Personnel Management Office over the weekend, saying employees needed to detail 5 things they did last week. The email followed a social media demand from Musk, who said a refusal to respond would be taken as a resignation. The suit says that violates federal law. Musk has been echoing President Trump's claims that remote workers don't actually work.
Nobody's going to work from home. They're going to be going out. They're going to play tennis. They're going to play golf. They're going to do a lot of things. They're not working.
Still, many key agencies led by the president's loyalists told workers not to respond to the email. Sagar Meghani, Washington.
The Missouri House is backing chemical company Bayer, which has paid out billions of dollars in cancer-related lawsuits.
The House has passed a bill that aims to protect Bayer from some lawsuits in the future over the company's Roundup weed killer. Columbia Democrat Adrian Plank opposes the bill that would let the existing federal warning label requirement about cancer be considered adequate.
Shame on you. Shame on you. I've got lots of people who've died in my district over the years because of pesticides, and I just refuse to be an accessory to foreign entities and murdering of Americans with no accountability.
Butler Republican Dane Deal says his bill will allow farmers to continue to feed the world and use chemicals that are highly analyzed. Missouri Net reports the legislation is on its way to the Missouri Senate. Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
Legendary singer Roberta Fleck has died. She was 88. Anthony DeCurtis is a contributing editor with Rolling Stone.
Roberta Flack was one of the voices that defined a certain kind of sophisticated pop soul music in the 70s.
The KMOX business desk, a coffee giant, is laying off workers.
Starbucks is laying off more than 1,000 corporate workers. Starbucks baristas, roasting, and warehouse staff are not included in the layoffs. New CEO Brian Nichols says the size and structure of the corporate workforce at Starbucks has too many layers and slows communications. Nichols was brought in to streamline operations. He says workers getting laid off will be told in the next day or so. Starbucks hired Nichols last fall to turn around sluggish sales. He has said he wants to improve service times, especially during the morning rush, and reestablish stores as community gathering places. Items are being cut from the menu, and Starbucks is experimenting with its ordering algorithms to better handle its mix of mobile, drive-through, and in-store orders. I'm Ed Donahue.
The Dow from Stifel up 136 points to 43,564. We've got a crash on 270 going north at Manchester Road. Also some debris that's just been cleared 55 north at Merrimack Bottom in the right lane.
It'll be nice and mild this afternoon with clouds and some sunshine. The high 62. Tonight, partly cloudy, though 36. Plenty of sunshine and mild tomorrow with a high of 65. This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Sponsored by 99 years. That's how long Overhead Door Company of St. Louis has been repairing and replacing garage doors for savvy homeowners. For same-day garage door repair 24/7, call Overhead Door Company of St. Louis or schedule online overheaddoorstlewis.com. That's overheaddoorstlewis.com. 55 in St. Peter's, 54 in Florissant, 55 feels like 46 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Use both your KMOX presets when you're in the car. 98.7 FM near the city and 1120 AM further out. 2 buttons for KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
There's just no way that we could keep you on. I don't even really work here. That's what makes this so difficult.
Well, we were given a notice on Saturday night that we had to come up with 5 bullet points that briefly explained what we've accomplished in the past week,
which is
why we should
strange
keep our job.
Because we do not work for the federal government. You and I, we are not under the umbrella of Elon Musk and the Doge agency. We have nothing to do with that. Yet somehow we received the exact same email. In order to save our jobs, we need to provide 5 bullet points to Odyssey Corporate.
It does seem surprising since we're not in the federal government.
So if you don't know, that's exactly what happened with the Doge, the Department of Government Efficiency. Elon Musk's group sent out this email to hundreds of thousands of federal employees, basically telling them to tell him why they should keep their jobs and to provide 5 bullet points. So Amy and I have come up with a few. We think that you can provide some of us. Why should we get to keep our jobs? What should we tell our employer in order to save our gigs? Let us know via text at 314-436-7900. You can also send us a voice message from the Odyssey app. And by the way, still getting a lot of voicemails to the old number.
Come on.
We're not. Stop.
We're
not using those. We're not listening
We
to them.
doged that thing right out of business.
That thing has been doged before Doge was Doge.
Yeah.
We did it way before that. So send us a voice message from the Odyssey app on the KMOX page. There's a little button that says send a message, record it, and we will get it.
We need your help because again, we needed 5 bullet points of what we've accomplished in the last week. I kind of came up with 2.
Yeah. Dude, this is harder than it looks.
It's harder than it looks. And I don't know if we're meeting with our boss today or tomorrow, but we need your help because here's what I have. Listen, this is a radio station. What is the worst fear of every radio station? The absolute worst thing that can happen.
Saying a bad word.
No, worse than that.
A fire.
Worse than a fire.
Carbon monoxide.
Matt?
Going off the air?
Dead air.
Oh, dead air.
Listen to us. 4 hours a day, we keep this station from being dead air.
Instead, it's hot air.
Well, it's still air. It's not dead air.
That's a pretty good one because the whole point of a radio station is for noise to come out.
Guys, I'm sweating a little bit because we just got a text from our boss who said he can't wait to see the 5 accomplishments. So listen, the worst possible thing that can happen to a radio station is dead air.
Yeah.
And 4 hours a day, Monday through Friday, Chris Ranji and I we stop doing anything else in our own lives.
Mm-hmm.
And we come here, we sit in front of these microphones, and we blood, sweat, and tears provide fascinating, engaging, I would say delightful content.
Delightful.
That's it. That's 1.
Oh, I thought that was 2.
Oh, no, that's 1.
Wait, 1 was filling the air.
Yeah, with this, that's 1 job.
Oh.
We filled the air.
Can't we just separate it into 2?
No. The second thing is, this is important. This might be the most important after the dead air. We're the voice of the people. We give the people a voice and a platform.
That's right.
They text in, we read their texts.
They
call in, we let them on air. They leave us voicemails. On the Odyssey app, we play them.
Would you say that we're the voice of St. Louis?
I would absolutely say that.
That's a service that nobody else can provide.
No one else is the voice of St. Louis.
No, absolutely
you
not.
Can't get that from the Rogan podcast. He's not the voice of St. Louis.
No.
You can't get that from
Pod Save America.
Or from MSNBC or CNN or Fox.
Theo Vaughn ain't going to do that for you.
Is he a basketball player?
Are you kidding me? Amy. He was at the inauguration.
Because we're the voice of St. Louis, we should, air some of the voices of St. Louis.
Chris Ranji is so biased and
Oh,
liberal. I'm turning you guys off.
What the hell, Carlos? I'm biased. Are you sure?
First of all, Carlos, he is biased.
Yes, of
but
course.
I put up with him every day.
Yeah.
I'm turning you guys up. Shouldn't he have said you're a turnoff?
Something like that. But Amy, think
What?
about that.
But thank you for texting or for leaving your voice.
Oh, yeah,
message.
leave us a
Carlos gets it.
Carlos gets
He
it.
gets it. He left a voice message.
Also, I guarantee you Carlos is still there.
We
He's still there. He's acting like he's not. I'm going away. No, you're not. You're still
well, he
there.
had to at least stay on to hear the voicemail.
Yeah,
voice
he's
message.
still around. But yes, of
But
course I'm biased.
he's
I
very
have
biased.
I have opinions. So does Amy. That's the whole point
Yeah,
of a talk
sometimes
show.
that's why when sometimes I hate him, I think I'm gonna be so sad when he dies, and then I think of the eulogy I would give, and I bring
Right.
myself to tears.
So are we down? Are we up to 2 now?
We're up to 2.
I think 3 is this one. What you're saying is that we provide an open forum
No,
for.
that was 2.
Damn
Ron.
it. Damn it. But no, it's a
That was 2.
non-judgmental forum. Even you, Amy.
I'm pretty judgmental.
Damn. Come on, will you help
I
me
know.
out here?
I think judging
So-
people is a job. If I didn't judge people, What am I even doing here?
Matt, where are we in terms of, we have 2?
Yeah.
So what do we have?
No dead air.
No dead air. Okay.
And we're the voice of the people.
Or the voice of the people. Okay, great.
The voice of St. Louis
How
specifically.
about number 3? We provide a forum to solve problems. For example, the person last week who messaged us and wanted to know if they should quit their job at the school they work at to
Yes.
drive Uber.
I will say this in relevant ways, like the dice rolling.
That's right.
That was very topical. Okay, I provide a forum to solve problems of other people.
So we're up to 3
We're
now.
Up to 3.
I think that's pretty good.
You want to call it a day?
No, we need 2 more.
No, Elon, not Elon. Our bosses need 2 more. Here's a text message. It
Yeah.
says, here's one accomplishment.
Okay.
You bring balanced and reasonable debate to Doggy Dog Doge's stupidity. Wait. Doggy Dog Doge. All right. I don't think that's one we're going to put down. but
Why?
we
I
do
put it down.
You did?
Balanced and reasonable debate.
Balanced and reasonable
hot
debate.
topic
Put that down.
issues.
That's number 4.
Yep.
Okay. So we just need 1 more. We make people happy.
No, I feel like
We make people happy.
I feel like that's not really an
When this show is
accomplishment.
over at 1:00 every day, I
Mhm.
think people who listen to the whole thing go, you know what? I feel 6% better about my day. We make people happy. Put that one down.
I feel like what we did is we provided a hot fudge sundae and then we just deconstructed it to pretend like it was 5 different desserts.
What?
Like making people happy, solving their problems, balanced debate, giving them a voice. It kind of it's starting to sound like one thing.
That does make sense. This is
Joe on YouTube says
Mhm.
we entertain and uplift people.
that's making people happy. Joe said it on Facebook, so it has to be on the list.
We entertain.
I agree with
uplift.
that.
I'm writing this down.
Here's one. Somebody has provided 5 things for us.
Oh, okay.
5 things
Wow.
all at once. Here you go. Number 1, you provide quality entertainment.
Quality. And
Number 2, you provide background noise while I'm taking a nap.
I don't like that one.
Number 3, you provide background noise while I'm bird watching in my yard while drinking beer. 4, let me get back to number 4 and 5. So they provided 3 things for us.
Okay. To be honest, I'm a little hurt by the emphasis on background noise.
Yep.
However, beggars can't be choosers. And I'll take it.
Just if you need background noise, all you need to do is make us your background noise.
People could buy like the white noise machines, that blow out the air.
Mhm.
They could do that, but they don't. They turn us on.
That's right. You could buy a noisemaker, or you
Or-
can put the Odyssey app on your phone
Yeah.
and just turn on our podcast later.
Mhm. Mhm.
From a 618, here are
Okay.
5 things. You make me laugh. That's number 1. 2, you educate me.
Oh.
3, you make me chuckle. 4,
Well.
you welcome different venues. 5, you make me LMAO. I guess we're hilarious.
I feel like 3 of the 5 were pretty
I
similar.
think people are really struggling. They're really struggling to help us. Should we take a call from Tom?
Yeah.
Tom in Old Monroe. What's going on?
Good morning.
Hi.
Yeah, I think if they're going to ask you to do that, I would, if I was you, I'd say, okay, we'll do it, but you have to do it also. And we'll read your comments on the air.
Thank you, Tom. That's
Thank you,
right.
Tom.
Okay.
These are the people we're talking about, the best listeners in the world.
Okay, bosses at Odyssey, including the local bosses here, you provide us with 5 bullet points of what
Mhm.
you do for us. And
Be-
don't say pay you.
I'm gonna say
because
this.
that's not good enough.
I'm going to be completely honest. Just from what I've observed, I do feel like our boss, Steve, does a lot more than we do.
You know what you're doing? You're brown nosing. You're being a brown noser.
Just
So what's our list? I think we've done pretty well.
All right, we don't go off the air.
1.
no dead air.
No, yeah. We air your thoughts and comments because we're the voice of St. Louis.
Voice of St. Louis. Great.
We provide a forum to solve your problems.
Yep.
We bring balanced and reasonable debate.
Balanced and reasonable debate.
And we make you happy.
That's a good list.
Well, but
how many
under
people
happy,
can do that?
Under happy, can you say we entertain people, we uplift people, we make them laugh and chuckle and LMAO.
LMAO. Do you even know what that means?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Here's one, a contribution from a 618. Your talking releases carbon dioxide for the plants.
Oh my gosh, that's so.
We contribute to
is
photosynthesis.
amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, put that one down.
Yeah, give
That's
them 6.
scientific.
Give them 6. The more things we do, the better. I don't think Elon said only 5. He said at least 5 bullet points.
I think he just said 5. I don't think he had any modifiers.
Well, we do more than the people actually require. We go above and beyond. That's right. I think we did. That's a pretty good list.
We've got a Twitter poll that you should vote on.
So go to our Twitter account at Chris Amy KMOX, and you can vote on whether or not we get to keep our jobs. It's that simple.
Yeah.
Right there. At Chris Amy KMOX. We'll bring the results later or tomorrow. I guess we'll bring them tomorrow.
And people can still contribute on the voice message app, the feature, also through text. Because like I said, I don't know if we're meeting with our boss today or tomorrow, but the more ideas, the better.
Okay.
Because there's volume and there's quality. We could probably use some quality.
Well, if we have a lot of volume, the likelihood of quality being in there is good.
Yeah.
From a 217, I actually have to answer that Elon email, so
Whoa.
I'll be stealing your ideas. Thanks in advance. You're welcome.
You're
See,
welcome.
We're helping people with their employment.
That's on our list.
That's Amy Marks Coors. I'm Chris Ranji. We're making your day better on KMOX.
Hi, this is Charlie Brennan along with Dr. Colleen Bosler from the Audiology Center. Doctor, when should somebody typically get a hearing evaluation?
You know, Charlie, the simple answer to that would be at age 65. However, there are some contributing factors that might make people more at risk for hearing loss. Some people with a history of noise exposure or a family history of hearing loss, or those suffering from tinnitus. Those people should come in to have their hearing evaluated at age 60. And of course, anyone noticing difficulty hearing or ringing in the ears should come in as soon as they notice these changes.
That's the word from Dr. Colleen Bosler from the Audiology Center with 3 convenient locations, Florissant, St. Peter's, and Creve Coeur. Schedule an appointment today by calling 636-441-7470 or the Audiology Center STL.com.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at LanceDruryLaw.com. If you want to know what's happening with your St. Louis Cardinals, then you need to get the inside scoop from the Gas House Gang. Every weekday at noon, Tom Ackerman, Matt Pauley, Kevin Wheeler, and Bernie Nicholas break down the latest Cardinals news with analysis only true experts can bring. Live on the KMOX YouTube channel and KMOX Sports on X, and replayed weeknights at 8 on KMOX. The Gas House Gang, sponsored by Saliga Heating and Cooling and Game Day Men's Health on your home of the St. Louis Cardinals. KMOX. This is a test of the emergency alert system. This is only a test.
To have a roof over your head, a nice roof over your head, is very important.
That's Rick talking about his experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago, and they're very cooperative on getting us the right paint. They were in and out and done in no time. Once it was finished, looked great. We were very happy with it.
The main reason Rick called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by a 25-year transferable warranty.
We've watched a lot of people get their house painted 3 or 4 times, and we haven't had to do any of it. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to have to paint it every 5-7 years.
Take a tip from Rick and put down the paintbrush and call Rhino Shield for your free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago. Financially makes sense, especially if it's going to last like this did. Still looks great.
Call now. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? Yikes. When it comes to Big Wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Here's how to get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. Our US-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you, and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for autopay and e-billing.
Gain a global perspective and specialized skills that many of today's top employers are seeking with an MBA from University of Maryland Global Campus. Study online and complete your degree in just 16 months for about $21K. Choose from MBA specializations in global business, marketing, HR, finance, and more. Classes start March 12th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
KMOX for St. Louis. By St. Louis. Always about St. Louis.
Remember when you had me, Ranj, guess the language of the Super Bowl call a couple of weeks ago? The Super Bowl broadcast around the world, and from Vietnam to China to Scotland to France.
The Cooper DeJean pick six call.
So here's what we've got for you, Ranj. I have Connor McDavid's game-winning goal in the Four Nations Cup championship game against the United States.
Carr sends it around. Marner waiting. Connor McDavid scores! Connor McDavid for Canada!
That's the American call.
There you go. English. Right. Okay. So I want you to, now you have to guess.
They were speaking American there.
They were American English, the country / language
just American
of the call. All right.
McDavid i fri! I mål! I mål! Han avgör! Connor McDavid vinner för Kanada! Han avgör!
That wasn't French, was it?
No.
Portuguese.
Nope.
Okay.
It was Swedish.
That was Swedish?
That was Swedish.
Okay. This isn't as easy as it sounds.
No, it's not.
So you're going to have me guess all of these, correct?
Yes.
That's the whole point? All right. So
Yes.
I'm 0 for 1. No, I'm 1 for 1 and 1 for 2.
You can't count
English
the
doesn't
English.
count.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
I get to count. Look,
All right.
I think it counts. All
Is
right.
this the number 2 one?
Okay, this is clearly Spanish. It's clearly Spanish.
Okay. But you need to know the country.
I have to know the country.
Yes.
Is it Spain?
Nope.
Mexico.
Yes.
Okay.
Half a point.
All right. Close enough.
Okay.
Up next.
Nations Face-Off-Finale. Und es ist eine Geschichte, wie sie Sidney Crosby geschrieben hat. 2010 war der Superstar der
These are
Liga.
those Germans. The Germans, isn't it?
So aggressive.
Everything about the German language is
Sounds
so aggressive.
Sounds like they're about to start another land war. That's what the
Dude,
language
they
sounds
love
like.
land wars in Germany.
All right.
On kyllä. On niin riskitön tää pelaaminen, että se on todennäköisesti joku toimitus maalille, pomppu tai joku ripari.
This is
sitten, mikä
Russian.
lyödään takakulmalta sisään.
Is this the Russian call?
It is not.
Is it in Eastern Europe?
No.
Okay. I have no idea.
Finnish.
Iceland. Oh, it's Finnish.
Yeah.
Okay.
Finnish.
Iceland's kind of close.
Yeah, it's kind of over there.
Yeah.
It's closer than we are.
That's right.
It's a lot closer
That's
than
why
we
we're
are.
trying to buy it.
I do think Finland and Russia border each
Oh,
other.
wait. We're trying to buy Greenland.
But
Never
Finland
mind.
and Russia, they are borders. They do border each
So,
other.
see, very,
Yeah.
very similar. I think it did pretty well there.
All right, next one.
Last one, too.
No a tady je McDavid! McJesus rozhoduje tenhle zápas, rozhoduje tenhle turnaj. Je to hráč zrozený pro velké okamžiky. 97. dává vítězství Kanadě.
That's Russian.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he said McJesus, didn't he?
He did, because that is his nickname.
That's his
in
nickname is
Canada.
McJesus.
Yeah.
Uh,
You crushed
That-
it.
I think it's funny in Russian. They're saying McJesus.
I'm a little surprised. You absolutely crushed
I think
it.
I did pretty well.
I mean, with Finland does border Russia.
Yeah, so there are a lot of similarities
You did
there.
way better than I did.
Oh, man.
Although you didn't have, did I have Korea?
You
and
did.
Thailand and Vietnam.
China, yeah.
You didn't have
China.
Vietnam. There was China on that list?
China was on, maybe.
Yeah, but definitely
And
Korea was on it.
Definitely Brazil,
Yes, which is
which
Portuguese.
is Portuguese.
Mhm.
Yes.
Anyway, I love, first of all, I think it's awesome
Mhm.
when a sporting event here is
Mhm.
big enough that you've got multiple broadcast languages, people from around the world
Mhm.
who are coming to the event. So that was in Boston. So they're coming to Boston or they live there and they are able to call the game for
Yeah.
their part of the world. I think that is so
That was
awesome.
one of the-
like the World Series, Super Bowl.
That was one of the most fun parts about covering the Stanley Cup final, the actual Stanley Cup final, because once you got to the final, you had media from China. Like,
Yeah.
and you wouldn't think that you would, especially not for hockey, because I don't know, a lot of people in North America don't watch the Stanley Cup final, but as in the playoffs, you had the Finnish media, the Swedish media. I got to know the Swedes pretty well, which was fun. And again, like I said, in the final, it's expanded even more. Russia, China, and so forth were there. But man, I love languages.
Or
Love
even
languages.
what I think is also very cool is when there is, for example, a Japanese player on a
Mhm.
baseball team. Like I wasn't here when So Taguchi was here. Certainly wasn't covering the Cardinals when that happened, but I have to imagine there was a pretty large
Yeah.
Japanese media contingent that just stayed with the team and covered the team at all times, which I think is awesome. I was with the Sox at the time, and we had I can't think of his name, but he Aguchi was his last name, and there were probably 6 or 7 Japanese media who were reporting back to various outlets, and they just traveled with the team.
Yeah, it's
They were
fun.
there at all times. Otani, I'm sure, has like 15 or 20 people who are covering
Hey.
him. That stuff is very cool to me. I love it.
Did I tell you the Duolingo owl died? You know, the language
Yeah, they killed
app
the
that I
owl.
used. Guess what happened to him? They finally revealed what happened. He got hit by a Cybertruck.
The Duolingo
Yes.
owl got hit by a Cybertruck.
Yes, it's such a weird company. Like, they're so bizarre.
I
It's
saw a
pretty funny.
Cybertruck a couple of days ago, and I have to keep myself from making an ugh face. But I do look at him like, ugh. Anyway, when we come back, Matt Pauley is covering the Cardinals in spring training. We're going to talk to him next on KMOX.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Since 1991, St. Louis has served as the gateway to the best men's basketball tournament. Arch Madness. Experience buzzer beaters, madness, and Missouri Valley Conference glory. And it begins here. The 2025 State Farm MVC Men's Basketball Tournament, presented by Credit Union One and Great Southern Bank, tips off March 6th through the 9th. Celebrate 35 years of Arch Madness. Get your tickets now at archmadness.com.
At 11:30, it's 57 degrees downtown at the Arch. Starbucks plans to lay off 1,100 corporate employees as the new chairman and CEO streamlines operations. In a letter to employees today, he says the company will inform employees who are being laid off by midday Tuesday. Also says Starbucks is eliminating several hundred open and unfilled positions. Utility work on 67 north at 6440. Left exit's closed to stall vehicle 370 going west at Elm Street. That's on the right shoulder. And the forecast for this afternoon, sunshine, high 62. For tonight, cloudy, low 36. For tomorrow, sunny, high 65. Right now, 57 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Join Mark Patches Seminars Lose the Weight and Stop Smoking. Early bird specials $49.99. Seminar Sunday, March 16th. Aviator Hotel and Suites, South I-55, St. Louis. Weight loss 11 a.m. Stop Smoking Seminar 2 p.m. Or Monday, March 17th, 4 Point Sheraton, St. Louis. Fairview Heights. Weight loss 5:30 p.m. Stop Smoking Seminar 8 p.m.
It's Tom Ackerman for Ophthalmology Associates, the doctor's doctors, 314-966-5000 or online at youridoc.com.
If this winter made it clear that your home needs new windows, call Window Nation. Window Nation installed more than 200,000 windows last year. That's about 40 times more than the average window company. And they have 33,000 five-star reviews on Google, plus an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. And right now, take 50% off all styles of windows and pay nothing with no interest for 2 years. 866-90-NATION or find them online at windownation.com. 866-90-NATION.
After almost 30 years, Lacefield Music is closing their location at South County Mall forever, and everything must go. Hi, this is Kathy from Lacefield Music, and lack of mall traffic has forced Lacefield Music to make this very difficult decision. But what an incredible opportunity for anyone who is searching for a piano. Save big on Yamaha pianos, keyboards, Lowry organs, and all the top brands of pianos. Also, up to 80% off sheet music and accessories during our South County Mall closing sale. All the pianos are at rock bottom prices. Many pianos are one of a kind, but once they're gone, they're gone. Oh, and don't worry, our Chesterfield location is here to stay and will remain open to serve all of your musical needs. Rush in today before the South County store closes for good and take advantage of massive discounts. South County, we thank you for all the years of support and great memories. Remember, Chesterfield will remain open for all of your piano and musical needs.
Taxes was not knowing your full financial picture. Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guarantee details at TurboTax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Get ready for Cardinals spring training play today as they face the Nets. First pitch, 12 noon. And you can hear the game live, streaming on Cardinals.com.
Ball is hit slowly to the right side of the infield. Gomez has it, flips to first to Castro, and this ball game has come to an end. The Astros beat the Cardinals today, 11-6, and Ricky and I will talk about it after this.
Yo, Paulie! Paulie's a great name. Yo, Paulie! What'd you do for Paulie? Anything? Me, Paulie! I was responsible!
Paulie, we're here because of you.
How good does that sound? Spring training baseball on KMOX over the weekend. And we are just underway now with Grapefruit League play. Multiple games are happening on KMOX and the Odyssey app. If you have it downloaded, you can hear it. We don't do every single game, of course, but plenty of weekend games, Saturdays and Sundays. We'll have a couple of midweek, I think Wednesday or Thursday games coming up before March comes to an end and the regular season starts. To talk about spring training baseball is Matt Pauley. He is the host of Sports Open Line, which will happen tonight at 6 o'clock, and it will go up until SLU basketball. And he is going to have that hour worth of programming, but also on Cardinals.com this afternoon, you can hear spring training baseball with Matt Pauley, who joins us now. What's going on, Matt?
Not much. How are you guys?
We're doing great.
I'm doing great, Matt, because on Saturday afternoon, went for a walk around Forest Park. Snow still on the ground. I was listening to Cardinals baseball. It was a beautiful thing.
Doesn't get better than that. Wonderful. Yep.
You know what? I was at the Taste of Soulard over the weekend, and I should have, with my Odyssey app, just ignored everybody I was around, walked around the neighborhood and listened to Cardinals baseball. I didn't do it, though.
All joking aside, even if you had done that for 15 minutes, it's so much fun to hear Cardinals baseball on KMOX again.
Oh, dude.
Oh, my gosh.
That first taste of it in the spring.
Yeah.
When it's cold out, it's the best, Matt.
It's calming. It feels like everything is right in the world. You're listening to John and Ricky on the radio. I mean, yeah, you're right. It was great to have Cardinal baseball back on over the weekend.
Yeah, because we still have about 2 months away before we can get crabby. So it's nice. It's nice to have the games you don't really care that much about, but just to hear it.
I don't know. I think there's a fair amount of crabby people out there already, but that's just me.
You get to hear all of them.
Yeah. How is it that first game down there? I know we talked a lot about Arenado and whether or not it would be uncomfortable or if it's just, nope, this is business. This is business as usual, and he's a Cardinal. How is it down there?
Exactly like that. There's zero discomfort, zero awkwardness with him being here. He's a Cardinal. Right now, all indications are that he's going to remain a Cardinal for the foreseeable future. There'd been a report that came out that maybe the Astros had re-engaged, but then other reports came out that said that was, he's still not overly jumping to void his no trade clause. So I think any type of awkwardness is something that is created by people who are not, explicitly connected to the team.
So is it an issue if he is not all that interested in going to Houston? What would be the reasoning for that? Because it seems like they would still have a pretty good chance to win if that's what he's looking for.
Yeah, maybe he just doesn't like the city. Maybe he doesn't think that from a long-term standpoint, it gives him any more of a chance of winning a World Series, that he would rather wait out a different team. Do the Astros look that absolutely are going to win a World Series in the next few years before his career is over? They did trade away Tucker. They're still probably a better team than the Cardinals, but I don't think he's looking for a team that's just, better on paper than the Cardinals. He's looking for a team that can win a World Series. And I don't think that's the Houston Astros right now.
Matt Pauley, as we look at spring baseball and you get the first handful of games, today will be the third Grapefruit League game. What do you really look for here? Because in the early part, it's just pitchers going an inning, maybe. They're not really stretched out yet. That's going to take some time before they're throwing 4 and 5 innings to get ready for the season. So when you see so much pitching overturned in a game, what are you looking for in the first week or two of Grapefruit League?
Yeah, not much means much of anything at this point. This is the chance just for guys to get out and get loose. And for pitchers, they start to let they build up their arm a little bit. For hitters, you start to get your timing and everything. We cannot make any sort of, big all-encompassing statements about anybody that we see early on. That being said, if you're in competition for a job, be ready to go when this thing gets started. For most players, pretty much got a job secured. Whatever happens in spring really doesn't matter. But if you are competing for a job, if you're one of these, gaggle of relief pitchers, for example, yesterday TK Roby went out and threw 2 really strong innings, no hits, 3 strikeouts, and that was a really good first impression. Now he needs to follow that up with more of that during spring, and I think he's got a good chance to make the team as a relief pitcher. But that mattered to him to be able to set the tone and make that statement in his first game. That mattered. Honestly, what Miles Michaelis did yesterday, that didn't matter quite as much, and he looked fine. And there's a lot of things that he's trying to work on and tweak, and he didn't throw quite as many strikes yesterday, so that was good to see. So you really look at it, guy by guy, moment by moment, and put a little common sense on whether something actually means something or not.
So, Matt Pauley, this spring, something new is being tested, and I am a proponent of moving to the automated strike zone completely and taking it out of the home plate umpire's hands, because sometimes a simple missed ball or strike can completely change the complexion of an at-bat, which can completely change a game. It is being tested throughout spring training. The Cardinals 24 times this year will have games that are affected by the automated ball strikes. It happened over the weekend. So, and I know the Cubs and Dodgers were the first team last week to do it. What are your thoughts on it, that you've seen it play out at least early on?
I love it. I love it so much. And I think I like it even more than going 100% robot umpire, because right now it's the challenge system. It adds something to the game, because when the hitter, the pitcher, or the catcher have to challenge immediately. The challenges cannot be from the dugout. So those 3 individuals are the ones who can challenge, and the umpire just steps away for a moment, and then they put it up on the screen. It's almost like the replay in tennis where you see whether or not the ball hit the line or not. So they show the graphic of where the pitch was at in the zone. It really engages the fans. I can just imagine how big of an ovation that's going to get in a really big game at some point. So I wish they could just go with it for 2025. This is the testing period right now. It's likely coming in 2026, but I really like it. And it doesn't take much time. It takes like 10 seconds to do this whole thing, and then they're back playing baseball.
It's interesting you say that, because like I mentioned a moment ago, I have been on board with just 100% automating the whole thing, but I never really thought about the drama of asking for a replay, basically. And it's quick. The decision is made quickly. I kind of like the replay thing in the NFL, where I like the drama of them going through it and then watching the play over and over again and trying to figure out what the call is going to be. So that's an added element you mentioned I had not really thought of before.
Yeah, that's my favorite part about it, because it's a very engaged audience as they are waiting to see whether or not that pitch is in the zone or not.
Hey, Matt, I had a couple of college basketball questions for you, because locally, Mizzou lost to unranked Arkansas. Mizzou ranked number 15. And Illinois, the Fighting Illini, suffered their worst loss ever to Duke. They lost 110-67. Yeah. Obviously, Duke ranked number 3, but that's a big loss. Did either of those games stand out to you more?
Probably the Illinois one, because Missouri going on the road against Arkansas. I know that Arkansas isn't ranked, but you go on the road in the SEC at any time, it's going to be tough. So we've seen how good Missouri can be. That was a competitive game. They only lost by 7. So I'm not overly concerned by that happening. I get it. Duke's the number 3 team in the nation. They are really, really good. But for Illinois on their home court to give up 110 to anybody, that is a startling result.
Yeah, you don't see that very often from them, especially this year when they got off to such a good start. So Mizzou,
I was going to say, and Illinois was 2 for 26 for 3-pointers.
And they
That's not
great. And by the way, we did talk about this last week, Matt, that the whole debacle with them retiring the player's jersey and then they hung it upside down. They did, in fact, sell T-shirts.
Yeah.
And some of the money is going to a charity, and apparently they are flying off the shelves, which is exactly what we were talking about, that they should just take advantage of that situation.
100%.
So Mizzou started this week, or they go into today, when the new AP poll will come out. They were 15th going into today. What do you suspect they will be when they finally get the new results? And I think that comes out in about a half hour or so.
I don't think they're going to move much, because they're coming off a great win and then a loss against a non-ranked team. Maybe they move up a spot or two. I could see them being like 12 or 13. Yeah, I think so. I think the win that they had was a lot more impactful than the loss. I'm not going to ding a team that much for a close loss against a pretty good team on the road in conference play. That's just basketball.
So you've got Cardinals baseball this afternoon on Cardinals.com, and I know you're going to have that call. Who's starting today, Stephen Matz?
Yeah, so Mike Claiborne and I will be on the broadcast today, and Stephen Matz making his first appearance of a Grapefruit League play today. Juan Soto, by the way, in the lineup for the Mets, so we get to see him as a Met for a first time.
Oh, nice. That'll be weird. Although it won't be that weird, because he's had like 5 different uniforms already, so
yeah,
it's not that unusual. Matt Pauley, appreciate it as always. Enjoy Cardinals baseball this afternoon. And then tonight, Sports Open Line at 6.
Yeah, 1 hour leading into the SLU Coaches Show.
SLU Coaches Show. Thanks, Matt.
You bet.
Yo, Paulie, your sister's with me. I'll call you back later. See ya.
Matt Pauley, host of Sports Open Line and pre- and post-game coverage for the Cardinals here on KMOX. And he will have that show tonight after the Cardinals.com game today. We'll talk to him on Wednesday. We talk to him every Monday and Wednesday. And we've got Bernie Tuesdays and Thursdays here on KMOX.
There you go.
Guess what we're doing today?
Is it the giveaway?
Yeah, not right now, though.
Oh, but we are doing it today.
We are giving away tickets to see Alabama.
Oh.
Alabama at the Thunder Ridge Nature Arena in Ridgedale, Missouri, May 25th. And we'll have a pair of tickets to give away today and every day this week. Exciting, isn't it? Oh, that's the other. We put that on the list, too. We give things away to people.
Oh, my gosh. How would they get rid of these tickets? If we, I mean, not get rid of them, but I mean, how would they give the tickets to the people if not for us?
What do we do for people? A lot, it appears.
Yep.
Put that in the Doge email. That's Amy Marks Coors. I'm Chris Ranji on KMOX.
For all station contest rules, go to KMOX.com/rules.
What was my first impression when I walked in? Wow.
It makes me feel like I matter. They've just done everything in their power to make me feel welcome and cared for.
I feel like I can go forward because now I'm in good health.
She wasn't looking at her watch. She wasn't rushing things. She took the time to understand what I was going through.
Ready to upgrade your primary care in St. Louis? Visit archwellhealth.com. or call 314-668-2173 to join now during Medicare open enrollment.
Hey, it's Matt Pauley. I'm in Jupiter, Florida, covering Cardinal spring training as the Redbirds get ready for a new season. Hear my reports mornings and afternoons, as well as evenings on a Gray Bar Sports Open Line.
Get everything you need to know about what's happening in Redbirds Camp with the Cardinal Spring Training Reports. Sponsored by St. Louis Composting, Wilkie Window and Door, and Norm's Bargain Barn. On your home of the St. Louis Cardinals, KMOX.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-253-6259. 800-253-6259. You have nothing to lose, but everything to gain. 800-253-6259.
Being first in line can be very important to homeowners. First in line for the plumber, first in line for the HVAC guy, first in line for Banner Construction. It's Banner Construction's winter home event, and you can be first in line this spring and save before the annual price increases. Banner Construction is a James Hardy and Pella Window replacement specialist, and now is the best time to schedule a free in-home consultation with no obligation. Call 314-569-1050 or see them online and have a banner day.
Get this, 42% of baby boomers don't even know how much money they have in their nest egg. If you're not sure where you stand in terms of getting ready for retirement, you should be listening to the All Financial Hour with Steve All.
Let's sit down and talk about your questions, because I think that's the most important thing that it is out there. It's what questions do you have?
Saturday mornings at 10 or Sunday evenings at 6, right here on KMOX.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Hey guys, Dave Glover here for Universal Windows Direct. Right now, buy 2 windows, get 2 for free, no limit, plus 36 months with 0 interest. Restrictions apply. Have a price, they'll beat it. Schedule your free in-home estimate today.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
Need a lawyer? Onder wins. Call Onder Law at 314-9-MILLION. That's 314-9-all-zeros. Or go to onderwins.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
Hi, Stacy here with Fairwinds River's Edge Senior Living in St. Charles. We have a helpful seminar coming up Friday, March 7th that just might be the help you didn't even know you needed. Learn about the current housing market and tips on how to downsize and move from a home you may have been in for 20 years, or maybe it's been 50. Happy hour follows. Visit us online at fairwindsriversedge.com and let us know if you're able to join us. Thanks, and we hope to talk with you soon.
I'm Frank Ladd. This is KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Thing you can put on your list is you do live remotes for charity.
That's true, Jim. Thank you for the voice message on the Odyssey app, where you can send your voice messages to us on the Chris and Amy Show. We do. That's another thing. That put that down in the bullet points that we have to send to the KMOX Doge Committee. And they get to decide whether or not Amy and I keep our jobs.
Yeah, that's a great one. Because again, as we mentioned Saturday afternoon, Elon Musk posted on X that all federal workers would receive an email requesting to understand what they got done last week, and that failure to respond would be taken as a resignation. Now, understandably, many federal workers and their managers pointed out that sending specifics to the OPM inbox might actually cause security problems, might violate attorney-client privilege, or otherwise break rules or laws, as tends to happen if you're in the federal government. And again, like I said, I am all for efficiency, but sometimes when it comes to things like this, you do need to use a scalpel and not a hacksaw.
That's exactly correct. And as I said earlier, everybody's on board with the idea of eliminating waste in the federal government or in state government or local. Doesn't matter. We are all in favor of that. But I think the manner in which you do it matters, and what the end game matters.
Yeah.
Are you doing this really for us? Are you doing this for people? Or are you doing this so that your business interests are better served? And I am sorry. You can tell me I'm wrong and provide evidence for me, and I will listen. I don't mean you, Amy. I just mean anybody. Give me evidence that this is going to help us, people, you, me, Matt, anybody listening to this show, and it really isn't there to serve the interests of Elon Musk and his people.
So I saw I think it was also 60 Minutes. They were interviewing some federal workers, and they were crying because they said, a couple hours ago, I had a job. I had a way to provide for my family, and now I don't. And some of the response, understandably so, I get this. Some of the response was, okay, you're giving us a sob story about federal workers who are being fired, will get severance, whatever it is, when the government just 5 years ago forced us to shut down our businesses, and a lot of us never came back from it. A lot of us never recovered. We never got our businesses back, or we eventually had to close because we lost so much momentum. I get that from the human side of things. If you're saying, how is a federal worker being fired any different than me being fired or my business going under? I get that. But here's where I kind of want to say how I'm viewing it. From a selfish perspective, a lot of federal workers provide services that we rely on every single day.
That you don't think about.
That you don't think about. So, like, I filed my taxes early for the first time in my life, and I'm so excited. But of course, there's they're IRS agents, and if they're getting fired or they're being paused, that could hurt the timeline for which I get, a refund. And to be completely honest, we'd had to talk to an IRS agent when you're going through records or whatever on the phone. My tax lady and I did. The most pleasant person I have ever talked to. Puts cable companies to shame, this IRS representative. I don't know if it was an agent or just a representative. And I heard that the federal government, the IRS agents, are pretty friendly to work with. State, on the other hand, can be difficult. But I say this because, again, I want to go to the national parks. There might be longer lines now for you and your family, or perhaps the park might not be cleaned up. So my point is, from a selfish standpoint, a lot of these federal agencies, departments, and workers are providing services that we rely on all the time. And if you take a hacksaw and start eliminating jobs en masse, we are going to feel the effects. So even if you don't care about the human side of things, like even if you say, hey, I lost my job, I don't care. Okay, fine, I'll give you that. But we might feel the effects of it.
Yeah, and to me, it's not good enough to say, well, I lost my thing, why should I care about yours? You shouldn't, even if I lose my job because of downsizing or whatever, it doesn't make me feel better to know somebody else lost theirs.
I think they were saying, when a lot of voluntary compliance took place during COVID and people shut down businesses.
Right.
And a lot of companies, a lot of restaurants, businesses, salons, whatever it may be, didn't come back. And there's a lot of bitterness, which I get.
But I don't want somebody else to suffer because I went through something difficult.
I don't think it's so much that they're suffering. I think like 60 Minutes, the point of it should not have been the point of the 60-minute segment was a sob story of like, what is this family going to do? When it should have been, hey, we rely on these services.
It could be both.
And I just think it should have focused on the services.
These are regular people. I think it could be both. These are regular people that we're talking about who are going to lose work.
But I'm concerned about like the parks. I've seen some stories from like park rangers, who work their whole lives to have this job. And I hope things get evened out. But again, ironically, it becomes more inefficient.
We should have put this on our bullet point list, Amy. And that's because we provide a service for people. We are monitoring egg prices in a thing that we like to call the egg beat. Now, this particular item, Amy, is egg adjacent.
Okay.
Because when you're eating your eggs in the morning, what are you drinking?
Coffee.
That's right. Coffee beans right now cost more than at any time in the last 50 years.
I believe it. I'm going broke. I started brewing coffee at home to save money from Starbucks. And I've been doing this for months now.
Yep.
And the price is going up.
Prices at the end of last month, they rose to more than $3.60 per pound for coffee beans. That price skyrocketing because Brazil, which is the largest coffee bean producer, is running out of supply. They've suffered severe drought, and this year they have done a little bit better. The bean crop is expected to be 4.4% smaller, according to a Brazilian food supply agency. So, sorry, eggs are more expensive, and your coffee is going to start to cost you more as well. We'll continue with the egg beat every day until we have beaten it to death. It's the Chris and Amy Show, Hour 3, and Monday Regrets. Tell us your regret from the weekend or the previous week. Tell us what it is, 314-436-7900 on KMOX.
A happy place comes in many colors. One that leaves you feeling refreshed. Something that gets you all fired up. Or gives you the space to chill. Whatever your color, bring happiness home with CertaPro Painters and make your happy place your home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Get started today at CertaPro.com. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
An important message from S&L Coins. S&L Coins pays top dollar for your gold and silver coins, old currency, gold-filled jewelry, scrap gold and silver, silver plating, gold and silver bullion. Get a quote with a call to S&L at 544-3600. S&L Coins, 544-3600. Or visit S&L Coins at 9300 Gravois, just east of McKenzie. Open 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 Saturday. Before you sell, call S&L 544-3600.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting rules for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Consult a doctor prior to use.
Wow, you look amazing. What have you been doing?
I'm sure you've heard of Ozempic, Wegovy, and the other GLP-1 medications, right? Well, I found this great company called Zelfie. If you qualify, their providers can prescribe medications like Ozempic and Wegovy and other GLP-1 medications that are 80 to 90% less expensive, all 100% online.
I can get GLP-1 medications for 80 to 90% less and do it all online? No doctor's office or pharmacy?
Yes, Zelfie can provide semaglutide or tirzepatide, the active ingredients in Ozempic and other expensive GLP-1s, but for 80 to 90% less and shipped directly to your door.
How do I get started with Zelfie?
Just send them a text.
Text LINE to 200-300 to get started today with Zelfie. Get the same active ingredients in Wegovy or Ozempic, but for 80 to 90% less and 100% online. Don't wait. Text LINE to 200-300 right now for a link to your exclusive offer. Text LINE to 200-300. That's LINE to 200-300. LINE to 200-300.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The legendary voice of St. Louis, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Do you ever wonder if you've saved enough to retire? Well, you can discover how you can make your money go a lot further in retirement in a 3-hour adult education class. It's called Retirement Planning 101. Hey, it's Sue Thomas, and this is a one-night class. It's taught by a fiduciary advisor from Financial and Tax Architects. They have decades of financial planning experience, and they hold these classes at colleges and libraries throughout St. Louis. You'll learn about reducing your taxes, maximizing your Social Security income, paying for health care, everything. And there's no cost. It's free. They ask that you bring 3 canned goods for a St. Louis crisis nursery. There are a handful of openings for classes this month and next. So register by calling 314-947-2012. 314-947-2012. It's the Sue Thomas number.
At 12 o'clock, we've got a cloudy sky, 59 degrees downtown at the Arch. Some 1,000 National Park Service employees have been fired by the Trump administration. The fate of thousands more seasonal Park Service workers is unclear. Andrea Townsend has lost her job as an animal conservationist at Yosemite National Park.
Long term, what does this mean for the state of national parks? What does this mean for wildlife conservation?
The turmoil comes just as visitors are planning their spring break and summer travel to national parks. Students get a police escort on Kings Highway, parading for a purpose.
This is Stuart McMillan at the March Against Youth Violence. About 400 students walking together down Kings Highway, heading towards Cardinal Ritter College Prep. I spoke with a father, Atif Mar, who lost his 19-year-old daughter to gun violence, Isis Mar, back in 2021.
It's a epidemic. So how do you cut a virus out? Because a virus spreads, and depending on how aggressive the virus is.
Jury selection to begin in the murder trial of a suspect in the suburban Chicago July 4th parade.
The man accused of opening fire on a suburban Chicago Independence Day parade and killing 7 people is about to start trial nearly 3 years after the attack. Jury selection starts after several delays. The erratic behavior of the defendant, Robert Cremo III, has raised questions about what to expect at trial. Cremo is charged with 21 counts of first-degree murder, 48 counts of attempted murder, and 48 counts of aggravated battery in the 2022 shooting. He has pleaded not guilty. The trial is expected to last about a month, with testimony from survivors and police. I'm Haya Panjwani.
Grammy-winning singer Roberta Flack has died at the age of 88.
Killing me softly with his song, killing me softly.
Killing Me Softly was a #1 hit and 1974 Grammy winner.
I'd like to thank the world.
And Flack won the year before that for Record and Song of the Year when she burst onto the scene.
The first time.
With The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face from the movie Play Misty for Me. Longtime music writer Anthony DeCurtis is a contributing editor at Rolling Stone.
People will remember her voice. Once you hear Roberta Flack, you never forget that voice.
Flack revealed an ALS diagnosis. She was 88 years old. Steve Kathan, CBS News.
As the Cardinals strive to be a better run-scoring club than they were last year, the prospect of catcher Ivan Herrera playing a lot could go a long way towards offensive improvement. A right-handed bat in a lefty-heavy lineup who's likely to be an 800 OPS guy is just what the Cardinals could use. Manager Oliver Marmol is excited about the possibility.
This is a pretty offensive guy who's shown a really good skill set in the box, so he adds a ton to it. I mean, when you're left-handed heavy and you insert not only a right-handed bat, but a good one, that could change your lineup quite a bit.
The Cardinals are scheduled to host the Mets this afternoon, weather permitting. Steven Matz is scheduled to make his first start of Grapefruit League play. The game can be heard on Cardinals.com and MLB.com with a 12:05 first pitch. This spring training report is brought to you by St. Louis Composting, growing gardens and making memories, and by Norm's Bargain Barn and Wilkie Window and Door. In Jupiter, Florida at Cardinals Spring Training, Matt Pauley, KMOX Sports.
The KMOX Business Desk, Walmart wants to keep employees.
Walmart will pay corporate employees more than their bonus target for another year, even though the percentage will slip. Sources tell Bloomberg that most of the U.S.-based Walmart staff will receive 122% of what they're eligible for in the year that ended in January. That represents a dip from last year's 125%. Kimberly Adams, Bloomberg Radio.
Dow from Steeples up 186 points to 43,612.
A mix of clouds and sun this afternoon and mild with a high of 62, then partly cloudy tonight with 36. Plenty of sunshine tomorrow and very mild in the afternoon, high 65. This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning. We've got 58 in St. Peter's, 57 in Florissant, and 59 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
In the 70s, baseball player Jerry Kelly decided to do something different.
Thanks for calling Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
This year, the company Jerry started decided we'd do something different.
Thanks for calling Jerry Kelly Heating, Air, and Electrical.
And electrical.
JerryKelly.com. Use both your KMOX presets when you're in the car. 98.7 FM near the city and 1120 AM further out. 2 buttons for KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Regrets? Let's not say anything we're going to regret.
I regret it.
All of us will come to regret this.
I'm serious, you won't regret it. Get over here right now.
It's Monday Regrets with Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Man, I bet Amy regrets.
I was just gonna say
during the commercial break, punctuation shaming our boss in the middle of a text thread.
As soon as I sent that, I have regret that I punctuation shamed our boss. I feel like it was disrespectful, and so I definitely am regretting that because I think he does not want us to keep our jobs.
Also, if you're just tuning in, based on what happened over the weekend with Elon Musk sending an email to hundreds of thousands of federal employees telling them to bullet point for him 5 things they accomplished last week so he could decide if they keep their jobs or not. We've had the same demand put to us that we had to give a bullet point list, and you can go vote at Chris Amy KMOX on Twitter. We want you to follow the show and then vote. And our boss Steve says he voted no, and is telling he also says he's telling his friends and family to vote no. You can't do
that.
No,
that's like electioneering, basically.
That's exactly what it is.
That
it's
is
electioneering, which is illegal.
Yeah.
So, Amy, what is your regret? And by the way, share with us your regrets, your Monday regrets, and it could be something that happened over the weekend. It could be something in the last week or something that's been festering for you for years, and you just want to get it off your chest. 314-436-7900 to text or drop us a voice message on the Odyssey app.
Well, I've got a bunch. First of all, if you're watching on the YouTube, you can see me scratching my head. I bought this hair volumizer, which I really like, but it's irritated my scalp a little bit, and it's done it before, but I really wanted big hair. So I slathered this stuff on. And right now my head feels like the scalp is trying to crawl off my skull. It's so itchy.
Amy.
What?
Just let me tell you something.
How is that not a regret?
It's very regretful.
How is it not perfect?
And you're going to regret it even more when I tell you that none of us in this room can tell that your hair looks any different now than usual.
Well,
so you've done all this volumizing
and it doesn't do anything.
And all you've done is made your head itchy.
And now I can feel it on my face. So I just feel so itchy. I just want to get in the shower and wash this out of my hair. So that's one regret. I also have a regret, and I might need people's help with this. Everyone's tracking everyone. Companies track you. They know when you're clicking on their website. Heck, there's a clothing company that if I go to Google and I click on a shirt and then I X out of that tab,
I'll get a text message.
Yes.
I get that all the time.
Minutes
hey,
later,
are you still thinking about this?
Look at this shirt. Weren't you looking
I
at
hate
it? Like a stalker.
I hate it.
You would look great in this shirt. You should click on it again. Click it. And so I get that. So I know they're tracking us, but here's what I regret. I was thinking about going to Switzerland again. So I was looking at ticket prices a couple of weeks ago, maybe a week ago. And they're pretty expensive. And I was like, well, I don't want to pull the trigger yet. It's more of, I kind of sometimes plan out trips that I don't take, and it's almost like a catharsis. But I didn't want to pull the trigger yet because I wasn't ready to spend that money on tickets. I didn't even talk to anybody. Just like, hey, will you be in town? Can I visit you? At any rate, in the week since I first looked at those tickets, they have gone up $500.
Oh.
And the thing is, I've been doing what you shouldn't do. I've been checking almost every day on AA.com, AmericanAirlines.com. And every day the ticket prices go up just a little bit. And I thought, well, maybe that's because Saturdays are expensive or Fridays are expensive. Today, on a Monday, the ticket prices are $500 more. I'm just going to give you the number. When I looked at it over a week ago, it was $1,081 for a flight to Switzerland. Just now, those same tickets are $1,500 and $1,538 to be exact.
You regret not pulling the trigger on it.
I mean, I can't do that. I can't. I mean, it's one thing if you're like, oh, it's $1,000, but that'll be your big trip and so forth. That's how much flights cost. I get it. But $1,500, and then on top of knowing that I could have had them for $1,000, I need to know, will these go back down? Are these tickets $1,500 for me because AA knows that I've been scouring the website? Yeah. Here's what I did last night. Cleared out my cookies. Cleared out my cookies in my search history. AA emailed me this morning. We know what you're trying to do. We know you got rid of your cookies.
They did not.
They didn't say that. But what they did say is, well, I had to refill in all my passwords and I had no search history. AA said, hey, we know you were looking at tickets to Switzerland.
Yep.
Why don't you try these out take these for a spin?
It's pretty invasive, isn't it?
Yeah, but I cleared my cookies. Why does AA still know?
Dude, they're in your house. Let me tell you what I regret, Amy.
Yeah.
Okay, how do I put this? I regret not paying better attention when I order something online. On Saturday, I came home from the Taste of Soulard.
Yeah.
I ate a bunch of food, and I thought, I still want pizza. So I ordered a pizza via the web. Hey. So I ordered the pizza online.
Hello, this is Chris Rogers.
No, I didn't. I did.
Please.
That's not what. Dude, is that what you think a drunk person sounds like? I did. I wasn't, but I did not. I must have. I don't know what I did. I don't know.
You sound drunk right now.
Amy, the pizza showed up.
Yeah.
And I didn't look at it when I placed the order, but apparently I had ordered $74 worth of pizza.
Oh,
they showed up with 5 boxes. And I was like, what is this?
How drunk
I wasn't.
You had to have been.
It wasn't that. I think
it's better for you if you were drunk.
No, I think what happened was I kept trying to go through with the order and it kept telling me it wasn't. So I kept redoing it. So anyway, I have my fridge is stuffed with pizza. I had to give it out in my building. I'm like, you want a pizza? You want a pizza? I thought about bringing some here today.
You should have. Man, you are sloshed.
Maybe I will tomorrow. But it's because I have like 3-4 full pizzas right now. It's unbelievable. I regret that. So
I bet you do.
Pay attention to what you're doing when you order things online.
Hey, I also have a regret from today.
Mm-hmm.
I clicked on a clickbait article. So here, it wasn't a scammy, gross clickbait article like, you won't believe how fat and ugly this person is now. Like, that's what they're always gross like that. But this one was, do you love coffee? Like, is your coffee not tasting quite as good as you'd like it to? Here are 5 pro tips for brewing the perfect coffee at home. You know what? How long have I been complaining about my coffee? At least a couple weeks, right?
Every day.
And I was like, okay, it's just not right. I know there's a ratio, 2 tablespoons to 6 ounces of water and so forth. But I thought, you know what? I think that I could use this tip. What am I doing wrong? Guess what half the article was on their very first tip on how to brew. This is a pro tip for brewing good coffee. Buy better beans.
What?
Buy good coffee. That's your pro tip? Even I knew that, and I'm one of the most incompetent domestic people you'll ever meet.
Wasn't there just an article? You were talking about it, I think.
About fast food?
Yeah.
Yes. And they've done this a few times, but the study was maybe a couple of years ago that they found after studying this, that people who eat fast food frequently, who eat a lot of fast food, tend to have higher obesity rates than people who don't eat fast food.
Mm-hmm. You know what's interesting about that?
It's
I knew that.
I know. I know, weird, right?
I knew that. I knew that if you ate fast food regularly,
A lot.
you tend to gain weight
You
quicker,
might gain weight more quickly than people who aren't eating fast food.
which is why you continually shame our friends on the
No,
Dave Glover
I
show
don't
for
shame
eating all
them.
that KFC.
It would be weirder. It would be weirder if I didn't notice that they ate KFC every single day. Have you ever known anyone that eats KFC 7 days a week?
Do you hear this?
I've never even heard of that.
Pajeski, do you hear
I
what
bet
she's
the
doing?
people who work at KFC.
I kind of agree with her. She's not
Because
wrong.
she's but she keeps saying, I'm not judging the Glover show.
She's observing.
But she's like right now, the way she's asking that question with stank, you know she's judging.
If you brought KFC for lunch every single day, I'd be like, wow, that's like pretty consistent. It's a lot of Kentucky Fried Chicken.
This text message from a 251. Where is
Yeah.
that? Is that Arkansas? Figure it out. Okay. This texter says, you get a letter from your bosses, and then you spend all show trying to find reasons to keep your job. And your response to that is to go full shamey on your boss over punctuation.
Such a great point. Well, I regretted it. I do regret it. No, the texter is right. But it was just in the middle of a sentence. It was in the middle of a sentence. There was a period. He said, this is America, and I have, period. Right to confidentiality, period. What does that even mean?
Don't shame him even more.
Hey, we got on a YouTuber. Zach says, my regret is falling down my stairs Thursday night and breaking 6 ribs and my shoulder blade. I just got home from the hospital this morning. Love the show. Yikes.
Listen.
Whoa. I'm so sorry, Zach.
Yeah, and Zach, the thing about our show is you can listen to us in the hospital if you want. On the Odyssey app,
my goodness.
AUDACY. Download it to your phone and listen. Take us wherever you are. You can also watch us on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter. A texter says, trying to shame me now for ordering 5 pizzas. I didn't do it on purpose.
He was drunk.
I was not
wasted.
drunk. No, I
blitzed,
wasn't.
Plastered.
No, it was a technical mistake.
Hello, this is Chris Ross.
I did it online. It's not my fault.
That's okay. Daddy's got it.
It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Attention homeowners. Selling your St. Louis home is a big deal. And look, I understand selecting the right agent can be a daunting task, but it is crucial. There are agents out there who will tell you an unrealistic sales price just to get your business. And that's why I recommend to my friends, trusted agent Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria understands that you need assurances when selling your home, not just empty promises. That's why Gloria Liu will guarantee upfront and in writing that she'll sell your home at your agreed upon price or Gloria will buy it. You might ask, how can she make such a guarantee? It's easy. Gloria Liu knows how to market and properly price your home. Plus, she has a database of thousands of exclusive buyers, many of whom are looking for a home just like yours. So take it from me, Debbie Monterey, and call Gloria Liu at 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or online at gloriahasthebuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
Retiring soon? Get the information you need by joining Kyle Jones and Matt Allgeier of Vira Capital Management for your retirement highway, Sunday mornings at 9:30. Investment advisory services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, registered investment advisors. Securities made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
99 years. That's how long Overhead Door Company of St. Louis has been repairing and replacing garage doors for savvy homeowners. Since 1926, they are the only authorized dealer of Overhead Door brand products in the city. Always look for the iconic red ribbon to be sure you're dealing with the genuine, the original Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. For same-day garage door repair 24/7, call Overhead Door Company of St. Louis or schedule online overheaddoorsstlouis.com. That's overheaddoorstlouis.com.
I'm Tom Ackerman with this month's Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight. This month we are focusing on National Cancer Prevention Month. And joining us is Dr. Graham Kolditz, Associate Director at Siteman Cancer Center.
Working to increase access to screening and early detection across the region and across the spectrum from prevention to detection and treatment.
Special thanks to Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, go to siteman.wustl.edu.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. It's no wonder that ZipRecruiter is the place for skilled skydiving instructors, accomplished airbrush artists, and proficient pediatricians. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter to hire, you're missing out. ZipRecruiter is the place that's so confident it can make your hiring easier that it lets you try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. So if you want the right candidates for all your roles, ZipRecruiter is the place to go. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax helpline at 800-536-9607. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax helpline today at 800-536-9607 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-536-9607 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-536-9607.
Join Mark Patrick Seminars Lose the Weight and Stop Smoking. Early bird specials $49.99. Seminar Sunday, March 16th, Aviator Hotel and Suites, South I-55, St. Louis. Weight loss 11 a.m. Stop smoking seminar 2 p.m. Or Monday, March 17th, 4 Point Sheraton, St. Louis. Fairview Heights, Fairview Heights. Weight loss 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar 8 p.m.
St. Louis stories. St. Louis pride. KMOX is the voice of St. Louis.
Jeff sending a message on the YouTube stream watching us saying, my regret is watching this show on YouTube instead of listening on KMOX.
Can you elaborate?
Yeah, why?
Is it my hair? Is it because I'm scratching my head?
I think it's because of all the dandruff flakes that you're all over your.
Let me see.
It's all over the camera now.
I see it on my shoulder. I think because it's itchy. It's not dandruff.
I think it's because you're just generally unpresentable.
I think that is not untrue. I think that's one of the rightest things you've ever said.
A text message says, Chris, were you out with the guy who fell down the steps?
Oh my gosh, that's such a great point.
Yeah, poor Zach. I guess has been listening to us from
5 pizzas because Zach fell.
I did not say 5
Can
pizzas.
You listen, Daddy fell down the stairs.
Would you like to know? I would love to see what my face looked like when they opened the door and there were 5 pizzas.
Probably
Like,
looked
I
a
did
lot
not-
like Zach's face before
Are you
he
sure?
fell down
And
the
then,
stairs.
then I looked at the ticket, had my name on it, had all the pizzas, and here's the best part: every pizza was different.
You gotta do a fake yell behind you, guys. Pizza's here. You gotta do that.
Oh, I've done that when ordering Chinese food.
No, you have not.
Yes, I have.
Really?
I've done the fake thing like, hey, the pizza's here, or the food is here, guys.
Really?
Yeah,
You're
because
not
I'm in.
proud of it?
Correct. Sometimes I will order so much Chinese food because
I love Chinese food.
Well,
It's so good.
my expectation is I'm going to eat it over the course of several days, but
Mhm.
still, it's embarrassing when it all shows up and there are multiple plasticware sets, and it's just you. that is one of the worst feelings.
Hey,
Yeah.
is it bad? What does it say about your life that when you said my expectation and I first heard my ex
Mm-hmm. Oh,
and that like my expectation
Her
is
name's
this?
Tactation.
It's kind of a terrible name.
Speaking of,
can't
people
stop
keep
laughing.
asking. People keep asking about the sisters.
Yes, because Ranj, you can't give us a story like this. It's called Chekhov's gun. If you're going to put a gun on the table in the first act, you sure as hell better fire it in the second. And you gave us a sister story, and you haven't followed up. That would be perhaps one of that if we have any reason why we should lose our jobs tomorrow, it's because of that.
This texter says we were trying to come up with reasons to keep our jobs, to comply with the email we were sent over the weekend.
Mhm.
And this texter says you provide relationship advice, but did Chris ever date that one sister? I have
No.
not. But another messenger says Amy does Donnybrook and Chris does sisters. That's not. Come on, that's not what is happening here. So let's keep it above board.
Yikes. You that's true. Also not presentable on Donnybrook. Having a real rough hair week.
You?
Yeah. I don't know if anyone saw about 4 people, maybe 3 will understand this, but Mr. Collins in the BBC version of the Pride and Prejudice. Think of Mr. Collins's hair and the curls on his forehead in the BBC version of Pride and Prejudice with Colin Firth. And I was having a real Mr. Collins moment. That's all you need to know.
Can I ask you a question
Google
right now?
it.
Can I
Yeah.
ask you, like, how many people do you think this applies to
I just
right
said
now?
3.
Yeah.
Of everyone listening.
Nobody knows what you're talking
And the
about.
reason why I said 3 because I know my mom is at least
This
one
is like
of
a
them.
Dennis Miller reference.
Is he very obtuse?
Extremely obscure. His stand-up, it is just the most obscure references.
Well, that's no fun.
Yeah, nobody can understand. This texter says, listening all the way from Washington State because it's the only way I can catch the Cardinals game now. Well, we don't have Cardinals baseball on now, but you can get it later. You can listen to Cardinals baseball later. We should also let you know that the Odyssey app, it is free to listen to Cardinals games on it, but you have to be in the listening area.
Mhm.
So if you are in Washington State, you're probably not going to pick it up. That's an MLB rule. It's not us, not our fault. So
There you go.
I just want you to know that. So Amy Marks Kors, we're going to talk to Chris Cillizza at 12:30. Normally we talk to him at 11 o'clock on Mondays, but he had a thing he had to do, so we readjusted for him. So he's coming up after the news here.
And you can still text us 314-436-7900. Your Monday regrets. We gave you all of ours. You can also text us why we should keep our jobs. And I don't know why Jeff regrets watching us on YouTube.
I think we look okay.
Are we ugly?
Yeah. By the way, the Elon Musk thing, the email that he sent out over the weekend, he followed up and said, quote, this was basically a check to see if the employee had a pulse and was capable of replying to an email.
Okay. Okay.
Dude.
You know who would have not gotten that email? Who
You.
would not have gotten that email? Hancock and Kelly.
They don't check their emails
That's
at all.
exactly right. And they're not wasteful. They're the most valuable pieces of KMOX.
They have the most value per minute of anybody on the station.
Hands down.
Chris Cillizza, political commentator. You have seen him everywhere. CNN, you've seen his newsletter called So What? You've seen him in the Washington Post, and he's got his own podcast as well. Chris Cillizza next on KMOX.
Now, 90 and 60. A look back at the latest St. Louis City SC match. Presented by Woods Basement Systems, Inc.
Cello, right foot, outswinger, Klaus header, down and pounced upon by Stefan. Good ball. And Watts feeds Betcher, gets ahead, but it does dart away from frame over the goal. Long throw, when it clutched it back, hit it all. Betcher gets stoned on the doorstep. Hit a one-time volley. Cello now tied it in the middle. Oh, back flip by Klaus, but it's right at Stefan. Year 3, game 1, ends in a tie.
Up next, City SC faces San Diego FC Saturday night. Pre-game at 9, kick at 9:30 on Y98.
Tripping over uneven concrete? Don't replace it, raise it with concrete leveling. Call the all things basement-y experts, Wood Basement Systems, for a free estimate at 618-249-5503 or learn more at woodsbasementsystems.com.
With your St. Louis Cardinals, then you need to get the inside scoop from the Gas House Gang. Every weekday at noon, Tom Ackerman, Matt Pauley, Kevin Wheeler, and Bernie Nicholas break down the latest Cardinals news with analysis only true experts can bring. Live on the KMOX YouTube channel and KMOX Sports on X, and replayed weeknights at 8 on KMOX. The Gas House Gang, sponsored by Saliga Heating and Cooling and Game Day Men's Health on your home of the St. Louis Cardinals. KMOX.
I'm Dave Glover, and I see clearly now thanks to the doctors, Dr. Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, Andy Royer, and Samuel Barry. You can too. Just go to youridoc.com.
Taxes was not knowing your full financial picture. Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Don't miss Mosby Building Arts Home Improvement Show, Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on KMOX. One of the last call-in shows where you can get live answers to your remodeling, design, and construction questions. Tune in Saturdays at 11 a.m.
At 12:30, we've got clouds and 59 degrees downtown at the Arch. Ukraine is marking the bleakest anniversary of its war with Russia, with its forces under severe pressure on the battlefield after 3 years of fighting and shaken by the Trump administration's apparent embrace of the Kremlin in a reversal of U.S. policy. The 3-year milestone drew more than a dozen Western leaders to Kyiv for commemorative events today in a show of support. We've got some debris on 270 going north at Gravois. The left 3 lanes are closed. Now just the middle 2 lanes appear to be closed. Stalled vehicle 170 going north at 6440. That's on the right shoulder. They've cleared an incident 370 east at St. Louis Mills. This afternoon's high 62 with clouds and some sun. Tonight cloudy, low 36. Tomorrow sunny with a high of 65. Right now clouds and 59 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
How was your drive to school?
Let me tell you, I had to get my iced coffee first. I just can't seem to put it down. My favorite rapper just announced a tour. My phone was buzzing like crazy. I'm so excited. I had to text all my friends right then to talk about it. Then someone started calling me and...
Let's try that again.
I turned my phone off right away. I never drive distracted.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to GoodRx.com/GLP. That's GoodRx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
Hey, it's Matt Pauley. I'm in Jupiter, Florida, covering Cardinal spring training as the Redbirds get ready for a new season. Hear my reports mornings and afternoons, as well as evenings on a Graybar Sports Open Line.
Get everything you need to know about what's happening in Redbirds Camp with the Cardinal Spring Training Reports. Sponsored by St. Louis Composting, Wilkie Window and Door, and Norm's Bargain Barn. On your home of the St. Louis Cardinals, KMOX.
Use both your KMOX presets when you're in the car. 98.7 FM near the city and 1120 AM further out. 2 buttons for KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
It's Amy Marks Kors and Chris Ranji on KMOX. Normally at 11 o'clock or just after the news at 11. On Monday, we talked to our next guest. Had to readjust a little bit today. So coming to you at a different time is political commentator and the author of the daily newsletter, So What? Chris Cillizza is with us here on KMOX. Chris, good to have you. How are you?
Hi, hello. Same me, different time.
Same you, different time. And actually, very different times are happening now. And a lot of attention has been paid, and we talked about it today, too. The email that was sent out via, it was an email sent out to all the federal employees from Elon Musk, asking them to basically lobby for their jobs and provide 5 bullet points of what they did over the past week. And it's created a lot of confusion, it seems, and concern. How have you seen it play out over the last 24, 48 hours?
Yeah, confusion and concern, I think, is a really nice way to talk about it. I mean, anytime you try to do anything government-wide, I feel like it's going to be complicated because, just for example, let's say that you work at the Secret Service or the FBI or the CIA, you probably shouldn't be putting into email the things that you've done over the last week, even if they have been successful. So you've seen sort of various reactions among the different departments to this edict from Elon Musk. And, adding to the confusion is the fact that although the original email didn't say this, the reality is that he then followed up on Twitter or X and said, if you don't respond to this with 5 things by Monday night, we'll consider it a resignation. So it's kind of like, wait, is that like an official pronouncement or not? What about for people who are on leave or don't have access to their computer today? You know what I mean? It's one of these things when you have someone who candidly is unelected in a position that's very ill-defined, as Elon Musk's role at the Department of Government Efficiency is, that is, it is ripe for chaos and confusion, and I think that's what we've got it.
Yeah, and Chris, we've said we want more government efficiency. We should try to cut down on waste and eliminate redundancies and so forth that are costing taxpayer dollars. But to do that, it does take time. It can be very involved and tedious, and you generally want to use some type of precision when you're talking about departments that are providing services for the American people. But instead, it feels that rather cavalierly, Elon Musk is going at this and Donald Trump with a hatchet. And like, well, if we chop too much off, we'll just try to repair it in hindsight. But it's not just the hatchet, Chris. Tell me if you feel this as well. It feels like a fundamentally antagonistic view of the U.S. government, as if the U.S. government and all federal workers are hostile towards the American people.
Yeah, I do feel that way. I mean, I think you and I have talked about this before, but my issue, broadly speaking, with Elon Musk's approach to all this is twofold. One, it appears to be kind of a shotgun approach, sort of, spray wildly, as opposed to say, okay, let's do an auditing of each agency or each department and figure out where we can cut, where it makes sense to cut, who's not, living up to their job agreement, whatever. So that's number one. And number two is the glee with which and the sort of carefreeness with which he has approached this. I think you don't have to like people who work for the federal government. That's fine. But they are people with real lives and mortgages and paying bills to pay. And so I never am going to celebrate, as someone who has been laid off in my life, I'm never going to celebrate someone being laid off. And I think it's a bad look when either the first or second richest person in the world is doing it, and doing it in a way that feels haphazard, right? I mean, that's the thing. It does not feel like this is after a month-long examination of each department, they found out where the excess is and they're getting rid of it. It feels kind of like they're sort of making the cuts and then asking questions later. In several cases, they've got they have laid people up who they find out they later need in order to sort of keep the department running. And I think that is sort of, that speaks to the haphazard nature of all of this.
Chris Cillizza is with us here on KMOX, political commentator. And also there were comments made last week by the president about Ukraine's president, Volodymyr Zelensky, calling him a dictator. And there has been some development, it looks like, with Russia, and now the possibility that Donald Trump visits Russia sometime here over the next several months has gone up a bit. What is your take on all of that, everything that's happening with Ukraine and the relationship with Russia now?
I mean, I don't know if you saw, but today there was a UN vote on sort of recognizing, supporting Ukraine in the ongoing war with Russia. I mean, the U.S. for the first time was one of, I think, 14 nations, the vast majority of which are Russian allies, North Korea, Belarus, those sorts of things, to vote with the Russians and against sort of the rest of the world. And I think that that is in keeping with sort of Trump's rhetoric and what we've seen. Look, he wants to make a deal. He promised in the campaign trail he was going to end this war. He wants to end this war. I don't want to say any way possible, but almost any way possible. And I think his assessment is the best and quickest way to do that is to figure out a deal with Russia. That would obviously be more beneficial to Russia than Ukraine, but figure out a deal with Russia and then go to Ukraine and say, look, this is a deal, take it or leave it. Like, we're not going to support you anymore if you don't sign this deal. And that, it feels like the stuff about calling Zelensky a dictator, suggesting that Ukraine should have never invaded. I mean, obviously they didn't invade. Obviously Russia invaded them 3 years ago today. So it feels to me all like he's trying to sort of till the soil so that when there is an agreement between the U.S. and Russia about this area, what should a post-Ukraine Russia war look like? What should a peace agreement look like? He is going to be able to say, well, I mean, Ukraine's not blameless either, and sort of force them into a deal. That's at least what it looks like to me.
Chris, how is this potentially harmful to our relationship with our allies, specifically in Europe, but all over the globe, to feel that the United States, which gave its word, under one administration, doubles back on another, and really the approach Trump is taking now is reversing 80 years of policy and how we approach a situation like this.
I think that's a really nice summation of it. This is, whether you support it or you oppose it, this is a fundamental change in the post-World War II approach that America has taken to its allies and its adversaries. Full stop, right? Like that is, and Donald Trump would agree with that, by the way, right? I mean, I don't think he would disagree with anything I just said. I think that he is much more driven by what can these countries do for me, as opposed to what is our prior relationship with these countries, right? He is a deal maker. He is a negotiator. He believes that we, the United States, have been taken advantage of for many years in many of these global organizations like NATO, like the United Nations. And he doesn't feel as though we need to do it anymore, that we need to get other people to step in. And look, I don't offer sort of a judgment on that beyond this is a radical break from the way Republican and Democratic presidents have approached sort of America and its role in the world, even though obviously Barack Obama's approach in the world and George W. Bush's approach were not the same, but they were broadly supportive of our allies and resistant to our adversaries. That's not really the case, at least in the first, month and a few days of Donald Trump.
Do you see it that way? Do you see it that the United States has been taken advantage of by these organizations like NATO, like the United Nations, like Europe, or whatever?
I think the answer is a little complicated in that if you look just at the numbers, we are clearly the biggest funder of these organizations. And Trump's argument is essentially, we're funding all of this and what are we getting for it? What I would argue is there's hard power and there's soft power. We're doing a lot of hard power right now, which is we're big, we're strong, we have a big military, and what we do basically matters, and we can kind of dictate terms. The soft power of you shouldn't need to bully your friends. And if you bully your friends, they might not be your friends that much longer. The sort of taking what we want when we want it from countries. That's the kind of stuff that I worry about. I understand his point about we're paying all this money in and other countries aren't paying. Fine. There is a numbers argument to be made in most of these situations where these countries probably should pay more. The question, though, is this solely a numbers game? Is this just about we pay 26% of NATO's budget and the rest of the world pays the rest? Why are we paying so much? Or is this about it is important for America, the sort of beacon of democracy around the world, to be involved in these organizations for things beyond just what we get directly out of them. Donald Trump clearly does not believe there is. I would argue there is.
Yeah, and I think I'm trying to think if I've got the phrase right here, but it's something to the effect of integrity. Integrity can reduce the cost of it's not capital, but when you're looking at the American foreign policy and you're looking at national security, integrity can reduce the cost of those things if you have a good relationship with your allies, because you don't have to treat your allies so skeptically, and your allies don't have to prepare and spend money against you, if that makes sense. If you have Germany, we know, is trying to become more independent from the United States in case we are no longer reliable when it comes to NATO, when it comes to Europe. So you can say in the short term, well, we've got to do this because we're going to throw our weight around. We've got to do what's right for us. But if you have a myopic view, you have to realize that throwing your weight around in the short term might cost you more in the long term, because you have diminished those relationships and diminished your confidence in your value in those relationships.
Absolutely. I think this is, I think I'll just give you two examples, Mexico and Canada. Okay, so Donald Trump says right after he comes in office, we're going to put a 25% tariff on everything from those two countries, which are two of our longest running allies and two people with whom we trade with massive amount. They react. They say, okay, so, Justin Trudeau in Canada makes a few announcements, and he says, we're going to appoint a fentanyl czar, because one of Donald Trump's criticisms was there's too many drugs coming over the border. And Claudia Sheinbaum in Mexico says, okay, we're going to put 10,000 troops on the border. Now, they already had a bunch of troops on the border, but we're going to put troops on the border. And there are people who say, see, Donald Trump got what he wanted. See, Joe Biden wouldn't have gotten that. And the question to me is, yes, he did. The other countries moved largely because they know that if we put a 25% tariff on them, it is going to make it very difficult for their economies. But at what cost, right? At what medium and long-term cost? And obviously, we don't know the medium and long-term cost yet, because we're a month into his presidency. But I do think sometimes there is this desire among Trump and his people to make short-term gain at the real possibility of middle and long-term pain. And maybe that pain doesn't come to bear in the next 4 years while he's president, but maybe it does. And I think that's something I'm keeping a really close eye on. Is yes, we can bully Mexico and Canada in the near term, but at what long-term cost?
Chris Cillizza's newsletter is called So What? Tell us what's in the newsletter that you're working on.
Well, I just wrote a piece on my son turning 16 years old today. Nice. My oldest son is 16, and how, of course, I make it all about me, how old that makes me feel, and how damn hard it is to be a parent and do it well. So I do a lot of politics, but I write about personal stuff sometimes too. So if you're a parent or a human being, I think you will identify with that one.
Can he drive?
He has his license. Notice how I answer.
All right. Hey, good luck out there, man.
Yeah. And to the other drivers on the road as well.
Thank you. Yeah, that's right. Chris Cillizza, as always, we'll talk to you Monday next week.
Take care.
That is Chris Cillizza, political commentator. His newsletter is called So What? You should sign up for that newsletter. And again, we talk to him normally just after the 11 o'clock news, right here on KMOX. The mayor, Tashara Jones, who is running to keep her job, was on KMOX today. We'll go through some of what she had to say next.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this important announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-329-2121, 800-329-2121, 800-329-2121.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-day kitchen and bath.
Marilyn Facer recommends 3-day kitchen and bath.
Working with Dave was an absolute delight. Once everything was scheduled, everything went perfect.
Have you ever had a remodel done before?
About 25 years ago, and it was a nightmare.
Was 3-day kitchen and bath on time?
There was no delays. Everything was on time. All the deadlines were met. Everything came at once.
Would you recommend 3-day kitchen and bath to your friends and neighbors?
I highly recommend them to anybody.
Top quality products and craftsmanship in 3 days or less. Call 3-day kitchen and bath. Always on time as promised, at the price promised, and your job comes with complete satisfaction guarantee. No ifs, ands, or buts. Visit their website at 3daykitchen.com. That's 3daykitchen.com.
3-day kitchen and bath.
Since 1991, St. Louis has served as the gateway to the best men's basketball tournament. Arch Madness. Experience buzzer beaters, madness, and Missouri Valley Conference glory. And it begins here. The 2025 State Farm MVC Men's Basketball Tournament, presented by Credit Union One and Great Southern Bank, tips off March 6th through the 9th. Celebrate 35 years of Arch Madness. Get your tickets now at archmadness.com.
Special announcement. Together Credit Union is now accepting applications for its Together Foundation Community Scholarship Program. This year, Together Credit Union will award 5 $1,500 scholarships to eligible students who live and work in St. Louis City, St. Louis County, St. Charles County, Jefferson County, Madison County, or St. Clair County. Applications for the Together Foundation Community Scholarship are accepted until Monday, March 31st. Learn more at togethercu.org. Together Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA.
I'm Joe Pott. This is KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
If I've learned anything in my first term in office is that people who haven't run anything think they can change everything. This job is a lot harder than people think. The mayor is not responsible for everything. We have a tripartite form of government, which means that all money spent have to be approved by myself, the comptroller, and the president of the Board of Aldermen.
That is Mayor Tashara Jones on Total Information AM today on KMOX. And there is a story at KMOX.com if you want to read it and listen to the entire thing. We thought we'd bring some of that to you today. Amy Marks Kors and Chris Ranji, and the mayor talking about the job itself, and that, you heard her say that the mayor is not responsible for everything and cannot do everything. And I'm assuming she means unilaterally. She is running for office again. Obviously, there are 3 other people who are running for office.
Mm-hmm.
March 4th is the primary date. And then in April, that's when the actual election will occur. And she did speak about one of her opponents, and it appears to be the main opponent for her in Kara Spencer.
And the things that, that my primary opponent, Alderwoman Spencer, talks about, that she's had 10 years on the board and has had ample opportunity to address many of the things that she complains about in her campaign. So I would ask those who support her to ask her for her receipts, because I would say, a good body of work that I am proud of that my staff and cabinet and I have been able to do over the last 4 years.
Yeah, I mean, an interesting point to follow up that the mayor can't do everything because it's a tripartite government and the mayor isn't in control of everything. Well, neither is a single.
I would say the alderman can do even less.
Yes, especially a single alderman. And Kara Spencer is not one of the Megan Green, Tashara Jones aldermen. She's just not. She's not for defunding the police. She doesn't hold some of the views that Megan Green and the like hold. So, yes, I would say if the mayor is saying that she can't do everything, well, a single alderman can do even less. And I would argue that Kara Spencer, if I was just trying to think of something that she got done, remember how it was perfectly legal, according to Missouri state law, for teens to walk around downtown St. Louis carrying guns, carrying semi-automatic rifles. And that was due to the gun laws that we have in Missouri. I know Mayor Tashara Jones has criticized Jefferson City heavily, but Kara Spencer led the charge to find a loophole in the law to make that illegal in the city of St. Louis, that you cannot be a teenager openly carrying a gun just walking down the street. She was able to empower law enforcement in the city of St. Louis to crack down on that here. So to me, that alone is quite an undertaking for a single alderperson to do and to accomplish.
And here's the mayor on the current economic place that we are in as a city.
We don't know. Because we don't know what the Trump administration is going to do in respects to Project 2025. About a week or so ago, I held an emergency E&A meeting, or estimate and apportionment meeting, to talk about this with our federal lobbying team, as well as our policy director, who, by the way, has read all 900 pages of Project 2025. And as we have talked to our different city departments and the federal money that they currently receive, about $175 million of the city's budget is at risk.
Yeah, and I think that's a legitimate concern, is to not know what some of this federal money is going to do or where it's going to be. But we also have money now that we need to spend appropriately too. Two things can be true at once.
Yeah,
we've talked a lot about the ARPA funds and the Rams settlement money and all of that,
which were already incredibly controversial, was already a hot mess, and had not been appropriated before Trump was president, before Project 2025. They've been arguing about this.
If you want to hear the entire interview, it is on KMOX.com or the Odyssey app, a story on KMOX.com that you can read as well. Mayor Tashara Jones on Total Information AM. I believe all the other candidates will be on this week, throughout the week on KMOX. We're going to come back with you tomorrow. We will be here at the same time as always, 10 o'clock, unless our boss says that we don't get to keep our jobs. In which case, I guess the email didn't work. Amy Marks, Kors, Chris Ranji, anything you missed on the Odyssey app, the Dave Glover Show is next. That thing has been doged before Doge was Doge.
Yeah.
From fast breaks to buzzer beaters to block.